What's going on, everybody? What good, family? How you doing? How you doing? Let me see who all over here real quick. Yes. How y'all doing on this fine evening, ladies and gentlemen? I'm gonna be bringing my camera up here in a minute, so we can go and get this thing started. That's my fault, y'all. I gotta be a little bit better prepared for these kind of things. If I got time to do it, I'm probably gonna start jumping on here. I know our primary days is Tuesday and Friday, but I'm trying to do better, trying to do a little better, hollering at everybody, putting out these conversations. Okay, what's up? Okay, let me get in here and speak to a few people before we start this again. Ghetto, what's up, bro? How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Miss Janita, Blue Lotus Vibe by Janita McLean. How you doing, young lady? You better get in here and enjoy yourself. BC Gaming, what's up? What's up, bro? Hey, mama. Hey, mama. My Renaissance grandma. Reason I'm smelling good. That's the only soap I'm using right now. I'm gonna have to switch it out so I can make it last longer. Who else we got? Hey, Miss Deborah. Miss Deborah Garrett up in here, y'all. Who else? Let's see here. Cynthia. What's up, sister? Cynthia living with MS is up in here, y'all. Yes. Orca 3371. What's going on, family? How you doing? How you doing? Yes. Get in here and enjoy yourself. Unique prepping. As Ghetto would say, it's the Zach Attack. What's up, brother? How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Soul Sister. Soul Sister, my sister, our sister, Soul Sister. Yeah. What's up, Soul Sister? How you doing? Driving and listening. I'm glad you listening, baby. Don't worry about nothing else. Keep your eyes on that road. Unbiased LLC. What's up, my sister? How you doing? Hashtag Ashy Gang, Purple Patch Crew. Always making it do what it do. Getting in her gardening on as well. Boy, I'm telling you, she a little bit of everything over there. A little bit of everything. Same thing with this other one I see off in here. Hey, Sassy. What's up, Sassy? The experience with Sassy. Doing everything from building little critter houses to rewiring stuff. I'm gonna start calling you Handy Woman. Yeah, Sassy doing it all. Happy hump day to you too, sis. Happy hump day to everybody. Miss Cheryl, how you doing, Miss Cheryl? You better get in here and enjoy yourself, young lady. And you too, Tamikia Wells. How you doing? Yes, indeed. Hey, look here, if y'all don't mind, if you didn't hear me ask already, I'm asking again. Y'all, please, share this live out before we get into the conversation. And then when you get back, y'all drop that hashtag BCIAC so we can all enjoy this hump day and have this conversation we have in here, or about to have rather, together. Yes, indeed. Now I got something to show y'all here in a minute. And I have to apologize, like in the words of my sister, Miss Anita Baker. I apologize. Oh, believe me, I do. Look here. I meant to have this photo uploaded, put it on the hard drive real quick so that I could show y'all a little bit better picture versus just holding the thing up. But we got some people that I do want to talk about. And yeah, I picked this picture because this was her essence. But we're gonna get to her in a minute. What's up, No Way Master? How y'all doing? Welcome in. Let me make sure everything is. Boy, I almost made a real big boo-boo. My goodness. Let me get over here and First thing, let me turn the camera on, speak to everybody like I got some sense. Y'all gotta forgive me, honey. I'm having a hair day. It's rainy season. And it ain't humid, but you know what I'm saying? I ain't beat my face or nothing. I ain't got on no blood. That's the thing about being a man, man. You know, you a dude, you ugly. Hell, you just ugly. Maybelline ain't finna help. Ain't nothing finna help. You just gotta walk around looking like however the hell it is you look. Yes, indeed. I mean, if you want to, I just me. I ain't gonna tell no other fella what to do or not do with they situation, red hair, your face and whatnot. But family, tonight we're gonna have a conversation, right? So we talking about mental health, but we talking about mental health in a little bit deeper way. Cause I have to put out this disclaimer because this is the internet. I don't want nothing to be misconstrued and nothing to be misunderstood. I am in no way, shape, or form discouraging people from seeking out mental health services as you see them necessary. Um, Matter of fact, as a person who I openly admit, I have seen the therapy, had one consistent therapist for about 3 or 4 years, man. Um, so this ain't one of them conversations, but we're gonna talk about different parts of it, different aspects of it, pros and cons. And since mental health is a word that almost all of us hear every day, I think we'll have a conversation about it. I think that'd be good. I'm gonna see what y'all think. Plus, it distracts me. Speaking of mental health, from some of the things I'm dealing with, we all struggle at some point. It's called life. It's called life. Today would have been, or still is, the born day for my closest best friend, my brother, as well as a brother-in-law, as well as another family member. But we all go through it. We all go through. Heart hurt sometimes. Uh, Longing for people who ain't with us no more. A little angst, a little confusion, a little anxiety. Um, yeah. So everything that I'll discuss tonight, I have to say this again. This is coming from a man, from a person who has sought out, received, and will continue to as time move forward. Uh, Mental health help if I see fit, and if I don't see it as fit, and somebody in my life like my wife recommended to me strong enough, I'm still gonna seek out mental health help. So that's not what I'm talking about. This is not a discouragement video. This ain't a discouragement rant. Lovely Samira, how you doing, young lady? You better get in here and enjoy yourself. That's what you better do. Get on in here. Joe, motivation from the weightlifting geek. My brother, y'all got to get over there, check out the new logo, support my man. And I don't know. Now Joe come on in a little bit. I'm gonna see how long. I don't know. Maybe we'll end up being up here 2 hours. Maybe we'll be here 30 minutes. Hell, I don't know. We just gonna ride it till the wheel fall off. But yeah, y'all support my brother. Y'all support my brother. That's very true. That's very true, fam. Motivation. Yeah, it's a real thing. We all need help. However we get it. Uh, hey, CC's Texas Garden. How you doing, my sister? Welcome in, Texas family. Yes, indeed. I be doggone. Do I see who I think I see? Boy, is you E-Money? You mean E-Money done graced her? Cause E-Money be busy, man. E-Money stay on that grind. If he ain't making banks. If he ain't making beats, then he out here supporting people in the YouTube streets. Ooh, hold on, bars. E-Money, you hear that? I wasn't even trying, son. I wasn't even trying to still come with that hot fire. I said if he ain't out in them YouTube, whatever I said. Anyway, it rhymed a little bit. Sound good. Sound good to me. Hell, I'm proud of it. But yeah, whatever I said a while ago. Shout out E Money. Thank you for being in here, bro. Better get in here and enjoy yourself. Hey, look at African Dream. Ain't nobody ask you all that because you don't even know. You up there. You control. You in the live from the other part of the house. I don't know. Ain't no guarantees I'm gonna be up here till uh motivation from the weightlifting geek come on. But if I do, your mama. Uh, wow. Okay, you got heat for me tonight, don't you? Other half African Dream. I see you in the chat. Okay, okay. Lovely Samira said no problem. And I see a therapist myself, but I went through 10 before I found the right one. Lovely Samira, I hope you can stick around because that's gonna be something that we talk about tonight. Finding the right mental health professional for you to suit your needs and accommodate the parts of your uh, personality, the parts of your behavior, the parts of whatever situation you confronted with that encouraged you to seek out mental health help. Finding the right one is just as important as finding the proper MD for you. Because yes, they may be highly educated. Yes, they may have 8+ years of training with ongoing training and conferences and all kinds of cool stuff. But every doctor ain't got bedside manner. They have a degree or multiple degrees. But that does not dictate your level of interaction with other people, i.e., your clients, your patients, the level of understanding. We have to understand that medicine, healthcare is in fact a business as well as mental health, family. Yo, Empress Kino. Ah, Empress Kino, thank you for being here, sis. Long time no see. I'll be checking you out on the gram over there. Empress Kino said, I have a ton of opinions about this one. I've been to therapy and I work with therapists. Nice. I have worked in mental health as well as been a patient of mental health services. So, yeah, I'm going to drop this link in a little bit and we're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to talk about one therapist in particular who very famous here recently. Yeah. And somebody who I would personally never want to go to or have recommended to me, but that's neither here nor there at this point in the conversation. We're gonna get to that here in a little bit. CP Family Farming, how y'all doing? Y'all better get in here and enjoy yourself. Y'all better get in here and enjoy yourself. Hold on, what my sister say? What Sassy say? Sassy said, this is the experience with Sassy for those who listening and cannot see or watch the live. If you driving or something or you at work, I don't want the boss coming by whipping your legs. And if you driving, I want you to keep your eyes on the road. So be safe. So I'll read aloud. The experience with Sassy said that part, Jay. I saw a therapist that had absolutely no bedside manners whatsoever. Hence, I stopped seeing him. Fam. That is just the tip of the iceberg. That is just the tip of the iceberg. And I have to reiterate, which I will continually reiterate over the course of this live, that in the words of MO3, everybody ain't your partner. Like, just because these folks educated, and again, I got to say this because of the nature of this live, some of the language that will be used tonight as we cover some of the content for educational purposes, family. This is just strictly for educational purposes. So we're gonna have this conversation. It's gonna be some naughty language at points. Might not want your kids or your grandkids listening. Put in your earbuds. I hope you stick around. Hope you hang around, and I also hope that y'all share this live out if you haven't done so already. Somebody said something. Oh, that was CC. CC's Texas Garden said, myself and my girls went through therapy for a couple of years. If I need it again, definitely will do it. Because it's a two-part thing. Hell, if I need it, I'm going to go back. I said that and I will say that again. I said it and I'll say that again. It's a part of wellness. And speaking of wellness, what's up, Frugal Mama? What's up, family? How you doing? Texas fan, you better get in here and enjoy yourself. You sure better. G Mama Groves. Hey, G Mama. What's up, family? How you doing? Fire. Now, was that Ohio player? I be trying to remember my old school Ohio group. But yeah. Y'all get on in here. Y'all get on in this conversation, family. We gonna chop it up. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it. Cause we almost at that point where it seemed went live last week. Boy, we had first again. I gotta say this. Shout out to Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek. Shout out to people like Unbiased be on it, man. All my people who always going live. I think Miss T with the T do a Monday through Friday. Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek do a Monday through Friday and do stuff on the weekend. I think it was last week or week before last. Hell, I think it was last week. It was an unintentional little African Dreaming marathon. Went live 5 days straight. Baby, if you want to go live for 5 days straight and actually engage and talk about something, and you think it's easy, and it's something I enjoy doing. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love being up here communicating with the community, talking with folk, chopping it up, hearing y'all thoughts, hearing y'all opinion. But that don't mean it's easy. It requires some effort. But here we go again, family. We getting ready to dive into this conversation. So,
here we go again.
Come on, y'all. Here we go again, baby. Here we go again with another conversation, another topic. Want to know how y'all feel, what you think, where you stand on it. Now, so that was the first thing I saw. I don't mean to laugh. Lovely Samira, hold on, I gotta put this on the screen. Lovely Samira said I couldn't even do 8 hours if I had to make a schedule. I feel you, fam. Your honesty is appreciated and respected. As the young folks say, for shizzle. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. So a bit, not too much. It ain't too in depth. It ain't too in depth. But a bit of an opening monologue as we indulge in this conversation. So, today would have been my brother's birthday, and my phone messed up. Nephew called, trying to anyway. It's a lot, man. I dealt with the better part of my grief actually over. I want to say between his birthday is today, and y'all know Mother's Day was just then. So the bulk of my grief, I felt like I kind of covered it, acknowledged it, got it out. So today is here, but we're gonna celebrate him going forward in a live. But oh, by the way, it's Gemini season, baby. It's Gemini season. Shout out to all my Geminis out there. Now, I don't get deep in astrology, so I don't want nobody coming for me trying to whip my leg. But shout out Gemini, JB. I love you, man. with all my heart, with all my soul. I feel you around me constantly. We chop it up every day, and it's all love. With that being said, the state that I was in a week and a half ago, between now and Mother's Day, was enough to maybe want to go see somebody or talk to somebody. But luckily for me, before things get to that point, uh, I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I'm in a better place most of the time. But I got the love of my life in the other part of the house. And I can't always be the therapy that she need, and she can't always be the therapy that I need, because sometimes you need trained individuals outside of your loved ones and family to be that person for you, right? So I'm thinking about mental health. I'm thinking about when I was mentally nowhere in the shape that I am now, and how dark of a place that was, and how hard it was to come out of it. It was hard. It was real hard. And I admit that. So if anybody else feel anything similar, I want you to know that 100% of us who still here on this earth, still walking around, have gotten past 100% of the days that we thought we would never get past. So it's possible, baby. It's life on the other side. That don't mean it don't hurt. That don't mean that you don't still think about it. It never goes away. Even healed wounds oftentimes leave scars. Those scars might not hurt no more. They might itch every now and again. And you want to scratch at them a little bit. But life goes on. With that being said, family, I'm going to get off of me. I ain't going to talk about me too much. Where my sister Gina at? Gina, if you in these bushes, every time I go live, it's because of you and Mama, my Renaissance grandma, got me up here eating one of my favorite candy, Boston baked bean. And Mama, you sent some of the other ones too, and that's why I got some Hershey's, what you call them thing? My Renaissance grandma, in addition to all these delicious sardines she sent a bag of Heath bars over there. You know them little toffee candy? Boy, it's a party going on in my mouth, and everybody invited every time I eat one of them joints, son. But right now, I'm finna work on these Boston baked beans right here. I done already killed them Snickers. Them Snickers, they been gone. April was in them too. And she sent some more Werther's original, Psalm 146, Home and Garden. Sent some Werther's. I don't know why my wife like to call them old man candy. You can call them old man candy if you want to. The next time I see your ass dig around in my bag, I'm gonna remind you what you eating them old man candies for. Anyway, look here. So, excuse me, y'all. I got carried away and started eating two of them. So, the bigger question for tonight, now that I've indulged in a little bit of self-disclosure, Ghetto, I'm not against grape heads. Them grape heads go hard too. They go hard too, but I'm really a fan of these Boston baked beans, man. Mm-hmm. Oh, and them Johnny apple seeds, them sour sweet ones in the green box. Mm-hmm. Boy, I'm showing my age. It wasn't no big old box like this. It was a box about that big, about a quarter the size of this. I remember when them junk was 15 cents. I was taxing everything, bro. I was taxing everything. Hey, really 13 cents, and the tax on was 2 cents. My brother Vision. What's going on, Vision Preparedness? How you doing, fam? Great live. I hung on as long as I could with you and Joseph. Y'all keep living, get my age. Y'all will see you can't stay up all night like how you used to, like y'all young folk be doing. Mm-hmm. Look here. So let's get to this part of the conversation. Why don't people trust therapists? Why people don't trust therapy? I'm talking about people in general. And then we can get to the racial components of it. We can get to even the geopolitical components of it. We can get to the societal components as far as the class system, which is little more than a caste system in all actuality, depending on how you want to observe it and take it all in. But we're going to talk about all of that tonight. And not to egregious this person that we're going to cover here in a little bit personally, but let's just say, what if your therapist was crazy as hell? What if your therapist crazy as hell? You ever think about that? You ever wonder, you laying on the couch spilling your soul, and he or she, they ass walking around licking donuts before they leave the office? You ever wonder if they do stuff like that? If they got any quirks? If they less than stable? And your ass laying down here on this couch or sitting in this chair spilling? You spilling, you telling all your business, family business. Not to say don't do it. I told y'all I had to keep reiterating this. I had to keep saying this. I'm just saying the things that a lot of us who have been to therapy think about and don't like to discuss publicly, but damn it, we doing it tonight. By the way, there's going to be some uncouth and unkempt language. So don't have your grandbabies and your kids and maybe even the dog. If you got a non-cussing dog, maybe you don't want the dog to hear it either. But have you ever wondered that? And who is your therapist? Where they go get looked at? Huh? You ever think about who check up on them? My sister Nikki. What's up, Nikki? The everyday life of an OCD chick will be on live tonight with my brother Hands in the Dirt for Wine Down Wednesday. Y'all see how I did that? Y'all like that? Y'all like how Wine Down Wednesday? That's right. It's gonna be Bougie Prepper, the everyday life of an OCD chick, as well as my brother Hands in the Dirt. That's gonna be long. That's gonna be tonight for y'all. So look here. I don't know how long we're gonna be on, but you can leave here. Then you can maybe catch motivation from the weightlifting geek. And then after motivation from the weightlifting geek, because he be getting in the gym, getting his swole on, so he don't even be on that long. But it'll be a beautiful thing if we can support him, stop by there. And then from there, you can make your way on over the Hands in the Dirt and get on that Wine Down Wednesday, baby. Bring you a drink. Because this ain't nothing but water. I just like drinking my water out this particular kind of glass. But this water, I like to drink my water in sips. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me read what my man Zach said here. Unique Preference said, see, because of mental health and PTSD, I actually do 22 push-ups for 22 days every year because I actually lost a close friend in 2015. He had it. Hey, much love, bro. And that's something else we're gonna talk about tonight. The different ways that we cope that may be deemed unhealthy, and some other coping mechanisms may be deemed healthy and may not be the healthiest thing you can do. Again, this conversation is for YT. This conversation is for educational purposes. People are sharing their thoughts and ideas. This is in no way a directive. This is not medical advice, or is it any attempt to assume the responsibility of dispensing mental health advice as a non-clinician. Thank you, YT. You gotta throw out them disclaimers, man. Folks come try to whip your legs and shit. You don't want nobody coming for you trying to whip your leg. Also, my man Vision Prepare. I think Baby just dropped it, man. Bug Out Weekend, family. Bug Out Weekend is him. I don't even think my man going on tomorrow night because he getting all the preparation done. No pun intended. The prep, getting the prep done for Bug Out Weekend. The link is in the chat, I believe. Baby dropped it in there. And by Baby, I'm talking about tech department. This is an interesting concept, Nikki. I'm gonna touch on this. We're gonna elaborate it more, but I'm gonna get. So for those who just listening, the everyday life of an OCDist chick said, "I think people don't want to be judged by their therapist." I agree 100%. I agree 100% of somebody whose whole sole purpose is to judge and assess you. Who'd have thunk? The irony of it all. So, with that being said, I think the other half of that point is excessive validation. Before we get into this too much deeper, let's acknowledge this point. Can we look at this? But thank you, Nikki, for bringing up that point because you reminded me of something. That's one half. People don't want, based on the assumption of education or whatever, whether you may be court appointed to a therapist, you may go independently, you may go at the behest of a family member or a spouse, a loved one, whomever, right? So that's one half of it, but the other half of it is, and I'm not going to speak so much for group therapy as I'm going to speak for individual therapy. Is it okay to assess and assume that there is at least the possibility that maybe, just maybe, what the hell I know, I'm just an old country boy, but maybe, just maybe, some of these folks will validate whatever that client says so they keep coming back? What if you, as a clinician, you need to tell your client some hard truths, but you only done got 2 sessions out of them, and you know that if you get another a whole 9 sessions out of them, that's $14,000 for you. Is it okay to talk about that? I'm asking. I'm just asking. Is it possible? Because I personally believe that all human beings, men, women, children, 2-month-olds, it may not be defined yet, but they got it too. Dogs and everybody else got biases. I've lived as long as I've lived, like my man Vision say, I'm old for a reason. I've lived long enough to no longer live under the assumption and in the fairy tale, I don't give a damn what your occupation is. You have some bias. The only thing that separates or differentiates people is their ability to control their biases and act in accordance with whatever their job description and or title is. But that don't mean they're not there. Some people do it for more ethically sound reasons, and other people do it because they want to check. If in everyday life, for my single people out here just living, living their thing, doing their thing, my single folk, men say women lie all the time to get what they want. Women lie all the time to get what they want. Why in the hell when your therapist validate all the crazy stuff you saying or exemplifying to them so you keep coming back? Why would I cure you? Why would I help you reach a point of resolve to the point where you no longer need my services? Then I'm solely dependent upon somebody else, either in your situation or worse, to come back so that I can sustain my livelihood. I'm literally sitting in a chair across from you or laying down on a couch, a chaise, as you scribbling your notepad. For all I know, you could be sitting over there playing tic-tac-toe. I'm not saying that's what they do. We just exploring the possibilities. And I'm basically acknowledging and admitting to you that I'm crazy as hell. I'm mean. I'm obnoxious. I'm self-centered. As exhausted as I am with the word narcissist, I'm exhausted with that word, but I'm narcissistic. I show narcissistic behaviors and tendencies towards my spouse, my children, my in-law, everybody in my life, co-workers, and you'll tell me how wrong they are. I'll validate your effed up behavior so you can keep coming back, because I'm the only person in the world that's telling you that you right. You right. And we ain't even got into the racial components. We ain't got into the gender components. We haven't discussed the socioeconomic components of this conversation yet. Who is your therapist? Who is your therapist? Who is your counselor's counselor? And we're gonna talk about all of them tonight. Hell, if you seek counsel from your pastor, who is your pastor? Might piss some folk off, but we're gonna talk about all of it. Especially when you getting life-altering conversation and suggestion and guidance from another human being that may or may not be completely fit to offer such, even having acquired the necessary credentials. If we go, I'm just family, we just having a conversation. CC, I gotta get ready to drop this link. I'm getting ready to play this content, y'all. Oh, for everybody who coming in, because I'm behind in the chat, I'm up here busting my chops. Y'all know how it go down when we do these pop-up. If you haven't shared it out, please share it out. Please share it out. And please come back and drop hashtag BCIAC into the chat, ladies and gentlemen. CC's Texas Garden said, one issue I have is when you start with a therapist and they move to another job and you have to start over and over again. I know all too well. It's a revolving door in many cases. The time limitations and the restrictions. And another thing that make me personally uncomfortable, that made me more uncomfortable when I've asked some of the therapists that I've had in the past, as well as counselors, and who your people? Who your people? You ain't got to tell me your hometown, where you went to high school, but I want to know a little bit about you. Hell, I'm sitting up here telling you all my business. I'm telling you all my business. I can't know nothing about you at all. I don't see no degree. You might have 1-2 degrees up over here, but did you pledge a particular sorority or something? Did you play tennis? You know what I'm saying? Do you like hog maws? Do you go hunting? Do you like fishing? What you do on your Saturday? Do you like to fly kites or doodle? I can ask you stuff. You asking me stuff. Same thing go with a lot of doctors. But that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, G Mama Grove said some therapists just want to give pills and send you home without actually caring about the situation. G Mama Grove, these is facts. These is real. These is real facts and conversations right here. The Everyday Life of an OCD chick said, I also believe some people say that they don't trust therapists simply because they don't want to change their funky ways. Absolutely. And that's why I love having people in the chat, because this is not a one-side dominant conversation. This is an exploration of thoughts and ideas shared amongst our community. That's all it is. My brother David Cobra with Crop. What's up, bro? Better get in here and enjoy yourself, Mr. Farmer. Man, a farmer, he ain't no gardener. I'm gonna try to catch up with this. I'm trying to make sure I acknowledge all the Ooh, Sassy, ain't nobody cut ties with you. What you, hey, man, Sassy, how you gonna come in here and plot with my wife on me? I don't even know what y'all talking about. Sassy, I love you and all your little West Coast ways. Ain't nobody said nothing about nothing. Even though you pick April over me all the time, ain't nobody worried about that. I had to have a thick skin in this world, girl. And one more thing, Nikki said something else. Nikki said we all need a sounding board at times in life. I would love for my pastor to have someone she can trust to talk to. Hell yeah, me too. Me too. I really do. I think anybody who absorbs all that energy from all of these people with oftentimes some of the worst aspects of their life definitely need someone that they can take that jacket off and place it upon them. Or at least a sleeve or two sleeves or a lapel or something to pass. How you sit on all that and still continue to give good and sound advice, absence of a bias? It's just real question. Hey, Miss Jones, how you doing? I didn't even see you in here, young lady. Miss Jones Truth said, yeah, their faith may not line up with your faith. Their stands may not land up with your standard. Yeah, that's another thing too. That's another thing. I agree, Miss Jones. Because and again, irrespective to religion, to what form of religion, it could be Catholicism, Baptist, uh, Islam. It could be an imam or your good old Southern Baptist preacher. Both of everybody has some form of bias that we all. Now, David, you a farmer. You no no you no you a farmer. You a farmer. That's what I heard. That's what the people out in the YouTube street were saying, because I heard somebody say something about something because of how you be growing stuff down there in them East Texas, uh, down there in the East Texas soil now, fella. I spoke in Libra. Krista, how you doing? And this is another thing. You know what? I love your honesty, Samira. Samira been honest about a lot tonight. Lovely Samira said I can never be one because I would start crying with them. That's another thing that's hard, man. When you hearing about everything from people being SA, I'm assuming y'all know what I mean about that. Uh, by that statement, just to stay in good standing with this here YouTube machine. But children and adults, men and women, being SA'd, some verbally abused to an extensive degree, some being physically just had the hell beat out of them for no reason at 2 or 3 years old. It's only so much. I'm not talking about a pop on the hand. I'm talking about beating the hell out of 2 or 3 years. It happens. Um, it happens amongst spouses in both directions, to men and to women. Um, I that's a lot. That's a lot to chew. That's a lot to chew every day, day in and day out with multiple clients. But I want to focus, now that we got that part of the conversation out the way, family. I want to talk a little bit more about the quality and what designates the quality of therapy in all communities, but especially in the Black community. Having worked a short time in mental health myself, with the desire to one day be an exceeded level of clinician, uh, I understood early on that my approach was too unorthodox. Uh, I talked to people as the moment and circumstance required in a very professional way. Never lost my professionalism at any point. At any point, but and in many ways, I was appreciated, and people enjoyed my services. They enjoyed how I did what I did, but sometimes when you getting better results than somebody that's got 3 more degrees than you do, it's like, fine, okay, I ain't gonna turn it into a tit for tat. So I'm gonna show you a young lady that was actually, she no longer holds her license, as far as I understand. And this is not a new story. It's recent, but it's not a new story. So this young lady here, and I don't want to disparage her because I don't want all the attention to be about her. I want the conversation to be focused on the title that she held and her behavior. And we're going to talk about her a little bit because you thought that, okay, cool, bet. And when Nikki said earlier, the everyday life of an OCD, as Chick said earlier, some people do say they don't trust or don't want to go to therapy. It's from a place of selfishness. They just don't want to go because they don't want the interaction. It may be marriage counseling. It might be parent to child relationship. It could be just spouses with no children. It could be what have you. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people don't trust mental health professionals for a myriad of reasons, some of which we've discussed up to this point. But we're about to get into this young lady. Now, this young lady, before I'm going to start with this one, and then I'm just going to play audio, because in many of her videos, she got her lady things kind of, your boy ain't against cleavage. I'm not against cleavage, but for the sake of this video, I wanted to stay up. I'll take dings and knocks for playing music here and there and little stuff like, hell, I don't even know if I monetized this. I don't even think I did. I'll do that. I'll entertain that. But I don't want no lady bits or no fella bits showing that, it's like so inappropriate it could potentially get a strike, along with some of the behavior and stuff. So y'all know how YT could be. Before I play this, Outspoken Libra had a comment. We covering all sides. Outspoken Libra, Krista said, well, I'm lucky that I've had a great mental health therapist. All of my therapists, but I have over the years were wonderful. That's what's up. That's amazing. Some of us hit that mental health jackpot as far as a clinician goes, and we are able to, if I didn't have such a good rapport and relationship with my last therapist, I wouldn't have solely stuck with that individual for 3, almost 4 years versus some of the help that I've received in the past, because all my experiences were not good at all. Overwhelming insensitivity, overwhelming inconsideration, very cut and dry, even disbelief. And the only reason I was there because I was at my most vulnerable moments in life. And before my brother passed away, happy birthday, JB. RP, baby. It's his birthday today, y'all. In this realm and the next. Yeah, I wouldn't. Them folk didn't have no cut for me, no love for me. And that's just my experience. That's just my experience. So with that being said, this young lady that I'm talking about, I'm gonna get back to the comments. This lady that I'm talking about, this young lady right now, is explaining to herself. I may stop it at a few places so that I can add a little bit more context. And let's get it, family. Let's get it. We're gonna talk along the way, and then the rest of the content is gonna be audio, so y'all don't have to see this person in whatever capacity they in.
Therapist who thought she could save these hoes, but got her job terminated as a result. Story time? I think yes. Shit.
Oh, by the way, family, heads up. I'm glad I caught myself. Look here. I said earlier, I'm going to say this again. This is 18 and up, unless you cool with your kid. If y'all cuss around the house, that's fine. Love you. respect everything. I ain't gonna take no harm to it. But yeah, she talk naughty. She gonna say worse stuff than anything y'all done never heard me say. And I want y'all to have a heads up. So before I even hit play again, I'm gonna give a couple of seconds to be respectful to everybody, to give y'all time to either put your headphones in or get out of the car or whatever. Go walk in a room or some another room or do whatever, and we're gonna get back to this because the language is a bit coarse, but it's wild, y'all. And yes, this is a licensed health professional treating vulnerable people in a mental health space, and it absolutely blows my mind. Most all of it. But anyway, I hope I gave everybody big enough heads up. We will continue on. I hope y'all stick around, and for those who choose not to, I hope after we cover this video, y'all feel comfortable coming back. But anyway, family, let's get it.
Did you not? I posted a video on Monday telling men that their dusty behavior is only harming them and that they would benefit from emotional intelligence. And I shit you not, by Friday, didn't have employment. All of this started with a Psychology Today article stating that men are lonelier than ever because they have no fucking emotional skills. And I agreed and doubled down and told y'all that y'all lives would radically improve if you expanded the shit that came out your mouth. But instead of healing, y'all will do anything but that. Instead of being accountable, like, hey, this bitch see me, stirred a little bit, y'all got so hurt that you contacted MASA. That's exactly what happened. So first the post goes viral on Twitter, because y'all need fucking help. And
now I got to stop right there and say something. Now, prior to this is actually after the termination of this young lady. Prior to that, between the Monday that she made that post and the Friday that she got fired or terminated from her position as a licensed clinical therapist, she eluded many times in many different videos, all of which I'm not going to share because we can make summations. We can summarize here. We all intelligent people. She said several times that she had no regrets about what she said. She wasn't wrong in nothing she said. It was directed at primarily Black people, Black men and women, but more specifically Black men. She didn't care about her delivery because the community, y'all can't see my quotes, but the community needed to hear this, and men need to do better. I'm not making this a men-woman thing. It's way deeper than that for me. We talking about mental health and who provides it to you. I don't give a damn about the gender wars and all of that stuff going on. I've been rocking with this one here for 22 years. I'm good. That's not my concern. This is about people who are treating other people. And this is on the back end. This ain't even a fraction of how she presented in the initial video that caused the whole going viral and the whole big stir up and all of that stuff. So I just want to throw that in for context, but please, family, let's continue.
And y'all wanted to argue with bitches blue till they fucking blue in the face. Some of you hoes is not gonna be saved. And that's the conclusion that I've come to. So because this shit's gone viral, I'm thinking, okay, cool, we starting a discussion on mental health and people are, you might not like my fucking delivery, but motherfuckers is starting to talk, you know, shaking the tables, I don't give a fuck. But then it turns into this entire crusade of attacking a Black woman who serves the fucking Black community. There were comments like,
now, see, this is something else that we're going to talk about on the other side of this. I'm going to go back and catch y'all comments and stuff. But, family, we're all entitled to a reasonable expectation from those with professional titles. Having did some of the gulliest, grimiest work in my life, everything from your grunt in the Army to your jawhead in the Marines, to police officers, doctors, nurses, judges, all of these people are professional employees, professionals at their craft. There is a level of expectation that all of us are entitled to have in regards to these people, both on and off the clock. I don't count people pockets and I don't get in people personal business. But when you go online, just like I can be held responsible for what I say and do on here, everybody else who wants to create content that holds a professional title, getting on here saying some of the things that this young lady said, and then is in awe of the backlash. I don't understand. I don't help y'all. Help me understand. And this ain't half as bad as what she said initially. This is the response to being terminated for the awful things that you said to the quote unquote community you seeking to help. And you hear how she talking now. But we're going to get to some more of that later. But anyway, let's get back into it, family.
I'm gonna find her credentials and report her, because I told y'all to be better? Yeah, y'all are fucking weird. Y'all scream that y'all want to protect women, protect black women specifically, but have done nothing to protect this black woman who has been serving the communities. I have been violated in several areas, and I'm gonna outline each one. This article was written by a fucking black woman, putting my full government and...
It was a black woman who actually did an article about her. I'm not going to say the name of the publication, but y'all see how most of the energy is going to and towards the men. Again, this is about this being a mental health professional. So you know what? I'm not even going to go too far down that road. Y'all just peep game on all of it. This black woman wrote an article because I had never seen nothing like that in my life from a deemed professional, a licensed therapist, responsible. You may be and counselors as well, and police officers as well, and doctors as well. You may be the last person to actually converse with some of these people in vulnerable mental states before they check out this world. And what you say and how you say it means so much. But this is her approach, and yet she's shocked that she was terminated from her position. Family, I'm going to say this. Who is your therapist? What do your mental health professional really believe? I ain't talking about smiling in your face. That's good. That's good bedside manner. Make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But how they really feel about you? What are their morals? What, you know what? We'll talk about that later. We'll get back into that. Let's keep it going, family.
My place of employment. So being doxxed by a black woman can't fake, kind of fucking hurts, and she never once reached out to me or contacted me so I could spend my side of the story. This is the article that spooked my fucking job and got me fired. Not only does she not have any regard for my safety, many other articles have been written as a result. Here are a few of them, just to name a few. Black Twitter has words for therapists scolding men to go to fucking therapy. Y'all attacked me and got mad at me because I wanted better for y'all. That's the most crab in the barrel bucket type bullshit I've ever heard in my fucking life. A plethora of...
And I got to stop right there one more time. I'm trying to get through this video, y'all. But I'm going to stop one more time right there to say this. I've had conversations with people who always seem to be into it with somebody because I'm trying to better my people. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Fine. I understand that intention. I understand why a person would be inclined to help their race, whoever their race is, in addition to all humans. But when you put on that damn cape and you decide to happy-go-luckily hop your ass all around wherever it is you will, trying to tell people how they need to live, what they ought to do, how they ought to be doing it, and do it in a very grandiose way via the internet, you setting yourself up for whatever smoke come back your way. The real civil rights, I ain't gonna say, let me take that word away. I retract that word. some of the older generations, regardless of how we feel about them individually or this or that, when they were getting their ass whooped and blood pouring down their temple, that's a whole different set of circumstances, man. In my eyes, it's just my opinion. I'm a grown man. I'm entitled to it. Some of the people who folk don't even act or talk or walk or dress or move like that in many ways anymore, because a certain level of decorum and respectability was the baseline of how you influence, rather than just running your damn mouth for the sake of saying words. And then people wonder why sometimes I'm as pessimistic as I am. This young lady, I ain't gonna say her age, but she damn not quite young enough to be my daughter if I had started young, but damn sure one of my nieces. And whether we won't admit it or not, there may not be the majority just yet, but it's damn sure getting close to 50-50. And I ain't never been one of them generational bashing people. I defend the youth just like I support, and I'm proud of my elders who move like elders and not olders. If this type of behavior exists amongst the professional world, and this is where people going to seek out, anyway, you know what? We're going to get on it on the other side, family. We're going to get on the other side.
Black men decided to take it upon themselves to call my employment to get me fired. You succeeded, but you succeeded in not the way that you think. If it's one thing about black women is that we're incredibly resilient. This just cleared the table to give me space and opportunity to educate the masses while shaking our asses to healing because y'all got mad because I wanted you to do better. I was told they consulted with shareholders and decided to terminate my contract because I told y'all to go to therapy. That's the world we live in. Well,
family, it's people out here really trying, in all races and all demographics and both genders, trying to make not only their country, their community, their whatever, a better place. The older I get, I see something that irked me more and more and more. The other day we did a video about the young man over in the UK. The young kid doing the pranks. That young man got on there with Piers Morgan, right? First off, in my personal opinion, he was ill-equipped to handle that level of conversation with a trained journalist. In my opinion, having no PR, no whatever. But something that he did that is germane to this conversation as well. He walked in, and let's juxtapose these two. Before he was arrested over in the UK, this young black man, 18 years old, still a baby mine, or child at best, was getting in people's cars, pranking them. Like literally at red lights and stuff, opening the door, sitting in people's car. In the States, that'll get you killed. That's a US thing. Walking in people's houses while they're at home, sitting on their couch, crossing his leg, putting their feet up on folk TV, stuff like that. Pranks. But when he was on live TV after he got arrested, folks was coming after him because he's black. This young lady says, we're going to listen to another video here in a minute. It was spicy what she said. It was this what she said. It was that. But the lack of accountability and acknowledgement for her own role in her current predicament transformed from that to black men ain't defending her. She just trying to help her people. She just trying to do everything turning all about being black, protect black women. What about what you said? What about what you got on these internets and said, young lady? That's all I'm saying, man. And it's the public not allowed. I didn't call nobody. It wasn't that real for me. I don't know you. I've never seen you. I ain't even in the same country when this happened a few months ago. But does the public not have a right to the assumption of a certain level of decorum from our members of professional society? That's all I'm asking. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think, how y'all feel. Am I wrong? Am I off? Am I missing something? Did y'all see something that I didn't see or hear something I didn't hear? I don't know. And I see, and I'm gonna get to the TX Lala said something, and I'm gonna go back up in the chat. TX Lala made a real good point, and I believe my sister a nurse. I think Lala a nurse, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, sister. I'm not trying to misacknowledge your occupation. But she said the patient does. So if the patient does, and we ain't even getting into HIPAA because she didn't say anything personal or that I saw as a potential HIPAA violation. But the thing is, patients are patients of what? They're patients of an entity, whether that entity is a corporation, a hospital, a clinic, a privately owned practice that may have employed other people. Then the responsibility for what she does falls back to them. So look, we just having a conversation because I want to know what y'all think, how y'all think. Lala, thank you for that because that was an interesting point. I'm gonna try to go back. Matter of fact, before I do that, let me drop this link real quick and let my people who wanna get up here so we can chop this thing up, talk about it. Y'all feel free also, man. Drop your hashtag BCIAC if you haven't already. I'm gonna try to get tech department to drop that vision preparedness link one more again when tech department get a chance. And y'all, please, for all my people coming in, welcome in. Thank you for being here. And if you haven't already, I would really, really appreciate it if, dang, hold on. It ain't, okay, maybe I hit the wrong thing. Huh. Okay, so you just don't want to do it. Hold on, y'all, I'm trying to drop this link. While I'm working on this, please, y'all, share the live out if you haven't already. And I got to go back up and speak to some peoples I see in here. Boy, it really, boy, I mean, it just really don't want to drop this link. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I think I'm doing nothing wrong. Let's see here. I'm over here clicking and copying and pasting and putting. Paste. Okay. Boy, this, it go up and come back down. Y'all, I got to get tech department. Baby, the link ain't linking. The little thing ain't even dark. Yeah, it don't want to do nothing. Okay, you know, I usually that be dark right there, and then I went over here, put that right there. Hold on, copy that right here. See, man, and then go up here, and then put this right here, and then I know, and then come down here and click right here.
You did a whole bunch of extra stuff and did nothing at the same time.
I didn't do it. I did what I always do. Don't be trying to add extra in front of you people.
I ain't trying to. I thought you was on mute. Hey, everybody.
Babe, I love you. Don't be treating me with indifference in front of people. See? I told you.
You didn't do anything like that.
Okay, I got it, y'all.
No, you
Never
didn't.
mind. I don't need
you
tech
did like
department.
8 extra steps.
I ain't do no extra step.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, M&T Living and Cooking. How y'all doing, family?
Hey, everybody.
Welcome in. Sweet Pea, I love you. Don't be judging me in front of people. Thank you, sweetie. The winning walk with Christina. How you doing? Yeah. You better get in here and enjoy yourself. Okay. Hey, backstage, just wave at me real quick. I see you. I see you back there. Well, I don't see you yet. I see the screen. And I gotta get back through some of these comments because I know it's some good ones. If you backstage, will you just turn on and wave at me real quick? I didn't get it. I couldn't see you. Whenever you ready, don't worry about it. Then you can turn your camera back off. Erica, what's up, family? Okay, you good. You good. You can turn it off now. I just need to see you. It's fine. You can turn the camera back off. All right. Welcome in, Miss Jones. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. You know
Beaver.
what, Jay? You know what, Jay? I'm gonna have to stop messing with you because you get on these topics, and it's not that I have to say something. Sometimes I feel there is a need to say something.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I saw that video, and my husband and I frequently talk about professional decorum.
Yes, ma'am.
Just because you like to cuss and all that other stuff, that does not necessarily mean the people you are interacting with on a professional level want to hear that. There is, what is this? You're supposed to have compassion for that person. And look, the Bible says that a soft answer turns away wrath every time. So,
yes, ma'am.
And to
Yes,
me,
ma'am.
I feel bad because she is generalizing all men, all black men. Y'all need to do better. I'm sorry. All
ma'am.
men are not
Yes,
the same, just like all women are not the same. And you cannot lump everybody into one pot because it don't work like that, you know? So, and I don't know who her therapist is, but okay, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Miss Jones, I appreciate you being here. Now, first off, thank you for coming up, and secondly, I agree. It's a really, for me, it's about a level of expectation that I feel I'm entitled to when it comes to people in certain positions. I think that I put it like this. Now, I'm not in agreement with it because being a content creator, I wouldn't want anybody to dox me. And what, for those who don't know, doxing is when people put all your information or your private information out, which is one of the things that's a discourager that keeps a lot of people off the internet. People be getting swatted. People have stuff like this. That wasn't the case for her, but people contacted her job. And if we gonna be fair about it, let's be honest. When some of these some people engage in extremely racist acts, it happens to them. Regardless of your race, I done seen it happen to black folks too. If it's a black mother or father and they kicking their little 3-year-old in the stomach on side of the road,
Right.
somebody find out who they are, but she intentionally went on the internet with these thoughts and these ideas in the capacity of a licensed clinician and shared that side of how she feels about things. And as a if I were her client, if I put myself in a client's shoes, well, regardless of how you smile at me and tilt your head to the side and write in your notepad, I can't ignore the fact that I just heard you via the internet say how you really feel.
Exactly.
So,
you know what? I was watching really close. I like to listen 2 or 3 times to make sure
yes,
I
ma'am.
hear what I hear. And I like to watch the expressions. I like to watch the mannerisms. And to me, if you pay close attention, she looks angry. She looks like she had a bad experience and it flowed over into her professional arena.
Right.
And unfortunately, no matter how bad you feel, you cannot take your mess to work. You cannot put your mess in your work. You have to
Yes, ma'am.
be able to
Yes, ma'am.
keep that stuff separate, one from another. But you have to be accountable. I'm sorry, there's accountability. You know, once upon a time, nobody knew all your dirt because there was no internet. Well,
Yes, ma'am.
you
Yes,
have to
ma'am.
be extra careful now because people, if you're in a public place, it's legal to record you. If you're now they can't walk into your house like that young man did, but because that's
Yes, ma'am.
dangerous. But
Right.
you know, this is a see all, know all type society we live in. We want to see it all and know it all. But she was not, I think it to me, it just looks reckless and it looks, and I'm not talking about her, really, I'm not. I'm just saying
No, ma'am.
the
No, ma'am.
the attitude, the way she carried herself. She looks as though she had a bad experience. And because I've seen so many women have bad experience with men, and then they lump all men into the same category, and that's, you still can't do that. It's not that the men are bad, it's just that either the way you are, you keep drawing the same type of man, or you keep traveling in the same bad circles to get that type of man. So that's
Yes, ma'am.
that's how it looked to me. She looked angry and like she was really venting something personal that happened to her.
Absolutely. I don't disagree. And we're going to get into that in a minute. I hope you can stick around for a few minutes if you can, but no worries if you
I
can't.
got a few more minutes.
Okay. I just want to say this. Before I was a married man, even when I was a teenager doing other stuff and flipping burgers, when I was still living with my folks, I didn't take whatever. I might not be happy and smiling and cracking jokes and stuff, but I never took home to my job, and I never took my job and then was mad at my siblings or mama because I had a bad day at work. And as a man, that's something that I grew and improved upon. You know, I come home sometime and baby like, what's wrong? And I might tell her a little bit, and then I'm just ready to kind of, just sit in my own, just get some me time sometime. But most of the time, no, all of the time, this is 100% for me. It may impact me where I get a little quiet or something, or just want to watch a movie or read a book or something and be less talkative. But I had to learn a long time ago when I've improved upon this skill set. My wife and I both have had professional jobs, and she don't come home and take her day out on me.
Exactly.
Nor do I. And I don't take the days that me and her ain't we ain't each other's favorite people being together 22 years. I'm not finna take whatever me and her go through to my job and mistreat coworkers or the public or whomever. Like that's just a level of consideration and maturity that you would think would be an automatic for someone with that level of education.
Just lost your
Because
sound, Jay.
oh, I'm sorry. Am I back?
Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. What was you gonna say?
Okay, yeah, and look, here's what I was taught. They say my mother and my dad always told us, if you're not going to do your job the way the job requires or with a professional air, don't do it. They said, because you are walking into this thing with your eyes wide open. You know what's expected of you. You know what to expect. You know how you're supposed to behave. So you cannot inflict your negative behavior in a setting where you're supposed to be positive. And I agree with you. My husband is a pastor and a chaplain at a prison. So, you know, he deals with a lot.
Oh,
He
yes,
deals
ma'am.
with a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when he comes home, he may sit down. We may talk about a couple of things, but we knowing that we keep the home life cheerful and joyful, because we know what you got to fight when you go back out that door.
Exactly. We strive for that. Yes, ma'am. That's
Exactly.
something me and April has put. We'd have had some sit down and talks about that. This is our safe haven. This is our little
Exactly.
castle. We got to go face that world. And the last thing I want, but I'm not saying every day is just full of sunshine,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that the additional extra angst from the troubles of the world, we can't have. We no, not in the house. We got to be happy here
Look,
as much as we can.
it's like me. Um, uh, I had a lady tell me, "Oh, I always wanted to be a pastor's wife," and I was thinking to myself, "This woman has absolutely no clue what she's talking about." I wanted to say that out loud, but I did not. But the thing is, when I
Yes, ma'am.
married my husband, knowing he was a pastor, knowing what type of pastor he was, I didn't walk into this thing with my eyes covered. I
Mm-hmm.
walked into it with my eyes wide open. So knowing that what's expected of me and what the environment is, I have to adapt accordingly. You can't be in the hood and go into a corporate setting and still be hood. The only way you can pull
Yes,
that
ma'am.
off, the only way you can pull that off, if you, the CEO, you're the boss, you started the company.
That's
You
right.
can act however you want to act. But 9 times out of 10, you have to go along with the system. But once you get your foot in the door and you get some, what is it, power or what is it, promotions, or you get a little, then you may be
Uh-huh.
able to relax. You can try it, but you
Uh-huh.
can't just go in acting like you control everything. And to me, that's where she messed up. She acted like she was just in control of everything, whatever she wanted to do. But when you work for other people, I hate to tell you, nothing is going to change in this. This will never change. When you are hired by somebody, you may as well get used to it. You got to toe the line. I don't think that's ever going to change.
Right. Right.
A job is a job is a job.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And sometimes I think people, especially people with higher levels of education, I've known quite a few, uh, been friends with quite a few, and I see that this pattern sometimes with uh the level of importance that people incorporate with themselves to these corporations. An overindulgence in your own importance can misguide a person to allow themselves to be fooled into thinking that this entity can't exist without them because of the vital role that they play. Baby, them, before your family get you put in the ground or cremated or however y'all do it, or been to put that in the paper and find somebody else and might shake your cold body and ask you to come train them real quick
Exactly.
before you go all the way home.
Exactly.
So
And when you
I
retire, if they don't think they can find a good quality worker, they gonna hound you to see if you gonna come back to work.
mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
but she I pray that my prayer for her is that she has people around her to show her the truth, uh, to give her a little reality check so that she could reassess what she's doing or what she's done and and take a different path. I don't ever I hate to see I hate to say, yeah, they
Oh, you broke up a little bit, Miss Jones.
gets a chance to redeem themselves. And I pray that she gets a chance to redeem herself. Really do.
Yes, ma'am. I think with the way that things, because this is still a it's not a new, it's an ongoing saga. Uh, I'm gonna give you the option before I play this next little bit. But this is something that she did pre her apology, and again, I don't. This is not to further disparage this young lady. She's caught a lot of flack on the internet. I don't want to be a contributing factor to that. This, for me, is a teachable moment and an opportunity for the community that I'm a part of, this YouTube community, to have a discussion about the mental health of some of our mental health care providers, their stability, who they are and who they are to you because of a lot of different reasons. So, Miss Jones, before I play this, It's a little bit of language in it. I know, I know the woman that you are. I give you the opportunity to step down or step away if you want to. I'm not even gonna play all of it, but I think she do say a few choice words in here. So out of respect, I want to give you the opportunity to stay up or step down before I play it.
It's nothing I haven't heard before.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I just like
But I
giving
appreciate. But I do appreciate that.
yes, ma'am. Especially to the elders, to everybody, but especially to the elders. So I'm on. Let me now I'm gonna get to some parts of the other quote unquote official apology, but this was prior to the I guess you could say official apology. So let's listen up, family. Let's get it.
I got another question. What the fuck did I do to make this? Seriously, what did I say? I'm not tripping. Listen, I don't have to fucking go to work. I don't care. What did I say though? Like, what part fucked y'all up so bad? Was it the dusty? Was it the go to therapy? Was it emotional intelligence? What was fucking y'all up so bad? Cause y'all obviously understood what the fuck I was saying. So what about it made y'all like call my workplace? That just feels like such an extreme thing to do.
I'm gonna stop it right there, and I'm gonna say this. I remember when all of this unfolded, and again, her whole demeanor was she's secure in her profession. She can say what she want to say because her job is secure. Her license will never be revoked. The language that was used was everything from calling men B's and punk ABs and how you're traumatized because of your daddy and mama issues and you need to go to therapy and you need to do this. And I mean, some really foul, vulgar approaches towards a community that you profess to have the intention to help. Dusty, that's a new thing. That's what the young folk use. They call each other dusties or stuff like that. That ain't really nothing in my vernacular.
Yeah,
but
excuse me.
Go ahead.
Let me just say this. You know what? I listened to it, and the so sad about that little clip you played, she don't even see it. She don't even get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it flew right over her head. She really, it's almost as if, okay, you know what? There's a difference between ignorant and stupid, I tell people. Stupidity is when you know better and you choose not to do better. Ignorance is when you just don't know better because you were not taught. Right. And somewhere along, she missed something. She missed something in, I believe, her teaching, or someone around her said, or, because sometimes we can allow people around us to pump us up so bad it messes us up. And I'm not sure who her, what they call it, support circle is or whatever. To me, it's just sad. It doesn't anger me. It really saddens me that listening to what she's saying, she just don't get it. She keeps saying, what did I say that offended women? Or in other words, she's transferring it to the people who complain. She's not accepting any responsibility for what she said because she really can't see that she did anything wrong. And that's terrifying.
Yes, ma'am. And it's even more terrifying when this is someone with that potentially has the level of education to write prescriptions for people. That someone may really be contemplating on whether their life is worth continuing or not. And with the level of this disdain that she seems to possess for men and especially Black men, and I'm not gonna throw this in as a specific qualifier.
Yeah.
But she also acknowledges herself to be queer. Nothing wrong with that. I don't get in grown folk business. You live your life how you want to live your life. But you know, that's that. But she has a very strong disdain for all men and especially black men. And she's alluded to things that may have happened, certain traumas that may have happened to her in the past. So I'm making that point to say, if you want to walk around and be a licensed commissioned peace officer in whatever state, county, jurisdiction, or federal, a parish down there in Louisiana, you got to have some level of a psyche valve.
Yeah.
If you are that traumatized, and this is in no way to disparage what may or may not have happened to this young lady. The point I'm making is, who is your therapist, and what level of cognitive function do they meet or are required to undergo on a continued basis to assess their level of health, putting them in a fair position to assess the mental health of others?
Yeah.
I just think that's a valid question that not enough people ask, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. And how do you
It-
feel, man? Go ahead, man.
Actually, you're right, because if you are a therapist and you see someone behaving in that manner, you are obligated to try to change the path, or try to change the narrative, or try to at least let them see the destruction that's ahead, you know. And it almost sounds like she may have been presented with the fact that you have to see a therapist. But if you listen to the arrogant tone and the disdain, she may have just felt like she didn't need it, you know? She just went on without it or something. I don't know what the qualifications are for that professional. I really don't. So I'm not an expert.
You know, Ms. Jones, she actually alludes quite often to going to therapy and attending and receiving therapy. And I don't want to make this a conversation about the validity of it. But
Yeah.
I know. But she says she goes to
Oh my gosh.
sometimes, I think at one point, multiple times a week. Now, this is really interesting because you can attend, you can go, but I'm of the belief that attending therapy does not make you a good person just because
Exactly.
you go. I'm old enough to remember that age in the 90s when it was almost I can remember a point in my life, my young adult life, where therapy was almost seen as a posh thing to do. You know, you lived on the Upper East Side,
Exactly.
or you know what I'm saying? It was, you can afford this therapist at $180 an hour that you go to 3 times a week, and it was almost like a luxury.
Yeah, it's almost
And
like
I
a
think
qualification for the rich.
exactly, it was a qualifier, and now somehow it's been turned over into everyday regular folk doing it. But some people pursue that profession for the sake of sitting in that $300 turtleneck with their legs crossed and their yellow notepad. And well, damn. Okay, so you a therapist, but who are you helping and how you really helping folk, man?
And what
That's my question.
yeah, and what frightens me is that I know her therapist had to see something was wrong. And why didn't
Oh, you broke up on me. You broke up on me, Miss Jones.
I?
Uh, there you go. We got somebody else in here. Crystal Sterling. What's up? Welcome, fam. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Uh, she said there are people who go to therapy but don't actually get therapy. If that makes sense. Hey, that make perfect sense.
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Some people go just to say they went.
and which is another part of that poshness that I'm talking about. It covers both ends. For a long time, I think one of the biggest fields pursued between uh 89 and 2009, so we're talking about 2 decades, a 20-year span, more people were granted psychology degrees than almost any other profession in mental health.
Wow. Didn't know that.
So you got a ton of people who were pursuing it on that end, which led to a ton of people going to therapy for a lot of different reasons, because over the past 20 years, something else happened. We hear the word mental health a lot. That's a big deal. That's it's a newer thing, not new, but we a long ways away from back when they used to have a thing called crazy houses. They sent
Yeah,
folk to the crazy house.
they sure did.
Asylums were a real thing, and that was a whole different ball game back then.
And the only
So
thing that psychologist did was decide if you're going to stay on the street or go to the crazy house.
that's it.
That was their
That's
job.
it.
That's it. Just make a decision on where you're going to go. That's
Yes,
exactly
ma'am.
it. Yeah, well, I went to college. I had to take a psychology class, and that let me know early in the game that's not what I wanted to do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, but I mean, like I said, I just don't understand. Well, I kind of do, but Jay, I'm gonna hold my peace on that particular thing that I want to say. But
No,
like you
go
said,
ahead.
uh,
If you comfortable with it, I don't think you would say
if
anything
she
egregious.
has,
But
if okay, she said she was queer, right?
mhm.
If she has such a disdain for men, which may be why she chose that path. And then when she chose that path, she got comfortable in it, and that gave her a platform to condemn and try to degrade men more. I'm not saying that is her path, but
Right,
you
right,
never know what's in a person's heart. They can tell you anything, but you cannot see in their hearts, and you never really
right,
know.
right.
But to me, her she it's dangerous what she's doing it because she's making her queerness be an excuse to demoralize men. You can't do that. That's
I, I,
dangerous. That's dangerous.
yeah, I just really don't. Uh, now, and I'm gonna say this in fairness. I can understand anybody who has lived through or
Oh,
experienced a trauma to be even potentially triggered by the familiarity or similarity of the aggressor, right? So
yeah.
if a woman had done something really horrible to me at a young age, I may have certain
34.
feelings towards
I'm
women,
coming.
and that could go for both sexes, both genders.
Yeah,
But
you're
to
right.
put yourself in a capacity where you dictate people's lives potentially, because I don't know how many of y'all are aware of this, therapists can be the determining factor look, I don't live for a while. I lived through the phase in life where when certain people did things, it was a mental health issue, and they just snapped, and it was they got deemed crazy. And instead of going to the pen and being in general population, they got placed in a mental facility, stuff like that. For one,
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
two, uh, if you know these are your inner feelings, this is how you really feel about these circumstances and situations or this group of people. Uh, Okay, I'm just saying it. How much sense would it make? And this is just an observation. This is not a direct, exactly parallel, but
Okay. But excuse me, Jay.
I'm,
Excuse me,
yes,
Jay. I
ma'am.
don't mean to interrupt, but
No, go ahead.
that's why I said I got to stop messing with you. I'm late to go and pick somebody up.
I'm,
I'm going to be listening, but I'm going to be in the bushes. And look, you
yes,
take
ma'am.
care. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you for coming up. Thank
All
you for
right.
coming up. Hey, welcome in, badass. What's up, bro? How you doing? How you doing? Sassy, Miss Cheryl still in here with us. Unicorn Lady Tech. Oh, hey, Unicorn Lady Tech. I ain't even see you in here. Let's see what Chris said. Krista Sterling said, my thoughts exactly. I've taken several psych courses and it has been helpful in my own journey with mental health. but wouldn't be able to do that job. Yeah, you got to know what's a good fit for you and what ain't. And if you try it out and it ain't a good fit, you might have to move around because you dealing with folk lives in a profound way, in a very, very deep way. Happy Mac up in here. What's up, family? How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Anybody that I missed, thank y'all for being here. I will drop the link again. So if anybody want to come up, we can get your thoughts and your opinions and your point of view on it, and see how you feel about it. And thank you everybody for being here. And again, family, if you would like to, feel free to share this live out. And don't forget to catch in a little bit. I think in about, maybe another hour, not even that much, maybe an hour and a half. We got Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek coming up. And later on tonight, we got Wind Down Wednesday, baby, with Everyday Life of an OCD chick, Hands in the Dirt, and Bougie Prepper. Yeah. What's up, Ray? Ray Official. What good, fam? How you doing? I'm gonna get this next. I'm at a point I really don't want to play too much more of her because y'all see how every video is, and these are some of the cleaner ones. But and again, man, I ain't trying to disparage this young sister, this young lady, but we talking about mental health. And hell, who is your therapist? Who is it? Who are they? What impact do they play as far as like how you see the world? And like who was it? Like Crystal said, you got to go there and do the work. You got to get that work from a motivator, somebody who is leading you in the right direction, because I'm a firm believer that all of us do have biases. We have biases. And what separate people amongst the professionals is the ability to be able to be pissed off, frustrated, not particularly pleased with an individual or their behavior, non-criminal behavior, and be able to tell them the truth. Or you could just offer validation and validate everything they're telling you so you can keep them as a client. Because at the end of the day, as a few people in the chat that said already, healthcare is a business just like everything else. It's just oftentimes way more intimate and invasive when it comes to your physical person. But it's real out there. Let's see what my man said. Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek said, when individuals, regardless of gender, have a certain position of power, it's so important for them to be good stewards of their power. That's real, fam. That's real. Somebody got to do it. Crystal said, I have several therapists over the years, and all of them have provided me something different to help me. I always tell people, shop around for your therapist like you do anything else. That is a good point that somebody said earlier. I think it may have been Sassy. I'm not sure. But family, everybody ain't going to be a good fit for you. If you'd never been shopping with your wife and you just been that husband sitting on one of them little benches they got right by the mirror, around the corner from the dressing room, yeah, man, just sit out there and play Angry Birds, because it's going to be a minute. Bro, you got to try stuff on. You got to shop around. You got to test it out and see who going to be a good fit and who ain't going to be a good fit. Because if we going to have a real conversation, folk have different views. And like Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek just said, these are people just like you. They wake up and sit on side of their bed and scratch their head for a minute before they get out the bed. They stand up and fart probably. Go make some coffee and think about what they finna do and how they gonna do it, and stretch and do all just like you do. Give a damn what your degree is or if you ain't got one at all. These is humans. These are people just like you. And that means they come with certain biases, certain perspectives on life. Now, they may handle it well within their professional capacity, But that don't mean they don't have these biases. You might come in and you talking about some parts of your life and this and that, and you super on the liberal side of the spectrum, and they could be ultra conservative, or they might be in the middle, and your therapist ultra liberal. And I mean, like, man, it's real stuff that happen, fam. Cause they people. Who? Oh, Game Nerd Mom. Oh, hold on. Sassy said something first. I didn't even see that. My bad, Sassy. Everyone that goes through the education of becoming a therapist does not need to be a therapist. Exactly. That go for it. Like Nikki said earlier, that go for every profession. Every doggone one of them. You got good teachers and bad teachers. You have good law enforcement, bad law enforcement. You got good doctors, bad doctors. Same for nurses. Same for trash people or sanitation workers. Uh, it's endless. It don't stop. Every occupation that you could think of, you dealing with whatever potential personality within that space. Game Nerd Mom Garden. Hey, thank you for being here, sis. How you doing too? I don't know if I spoke yet. She said, I think people have issues finding a therapist for them. So often people are not told that the first therapist you meet may not be the one for you. You really got to shop around. Yeah, that's the same thing that Crystal Sterling was saying. Unicorn Lady Tech said, me personally, I do not have a therapist right now because I don't want one. My insurance won't pay for online therapists. I have my kids a lot of the time, so it's hard for me to get a sitter just to go. It's another complexity that is around trying to get, and even like whether you do it in person or whether you do it online, the affordability of that. And how could that's another good point. The affordability, how could the affordability flow over into the level of therapists that you qualify for? Because not with all things in life, but with some things in life, you pay for what you get for. And I'm not a big shoe guy. I don't even care about shoes like that, but I give you an example. You know, there is some poor folk in the world, and I just happen to be one of them, especially when I was younger. I had a whole bunch of nice stuff too, don't get me wrong. But it had been a couple times in my life I done had them old cheap plastic dollar store shoes. You wear them for a week and they done cracked right across the toes. The plastic done wore down on them. They were white. For whatever reason, my mom insisted on getting white shoes. I guess they just looked good at the beginning. Pro Wings, I think they were. Them old plastic cheap shoe they tear up. Now, if you get you a good pair of shoes, they gonna last longer. They more durable. Same thing with a therapist. I mean, y'all help me. I'm just assuming, but I'm thinking if you get to afford a worthwhile therapist that can spend an hour and a half with you or 2 hours, whatever your session is, and spend that time and then invest that capital into making you a better you, that's different from somebody who got 37 minutes to spend with you, and you got, they sitting there like, hey, hair up, wrap it up now. Wrap it up. We got to go. I got 20 people sitting outside waiting. Sassy said jealous. I remember them old shoes. I heard somebody had said they be making your feet stink at the bottom. Now, I don't know how true it is because the top of them were open. I guess I have to call tech department because I think she had some jelly when she was little. Baby, did jellies have your feet stinking at the bottom? I think she said, yeah, y'all. I ain't sure. We were talking about shoes and Sassy talking about jellies. And you know them little girl shoes? Yeah. They make your feet stink at the bottom.
What?
I'm asking. I don't know. I ain't never worn no jelly.
I don't recall.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was a kid.
I'm just saying, especially little kids outside playing and all that dirt. Baby, 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 with your feet stinking at the bottom. Okay, all right. Well,
Oh my
all
God.
that plastic rubbing up against the bottom of your feet. I don't.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
Tech department up in. Who said something? Outspoken Libra Krista said, I don't know where you are located, but if you're in Connecticut and anywhere near close to Maston, Connecticut, I can give you the name of a great therapist if you're looking for one. Okay, chat. So there you go. There you go. Now I don't know. I'm not in Connecticut, but if you're looking for a good one, you might want to holler at Outspoken Libra Krista and get a hold of you a good therapist up there. I don't know, what your insurance do or how much they hit for. She said, Game their mom said them jellies used to cook people's feet. Have 2 turkey foots in them shoes. I know that right. Yeah, I understand. I mean, typically you don't like to think about lady feet stinking at the bottom, but them jellies, man, yeah, fam. That's just straight soft plastic. You walk around in East Texas heat, summer, you outside playing, your feet in there balling. Yeah. See, man, that's what I love about honesty. This is an honest conversation. Sassy said as a kid, our feet was stinking, Jake. Thank you. Man, come on, man. That's what I'm talking about, sis. I appreciate that. We ain't got a lot to kick it. We do not have to lie to kick it at all. I'm gonna try to put this here. I don't know why. It be wanting to be real peculiar for me, boy. I know how to drop links. Okay, there it is. Now it's acting right. Yeah, bald feet. She takes out insurances, even Connecticut State. Okay, that's cool. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's how when you build a community, man, you got people who know some stuff that you don't know, and you know some stuff that they don't know. And David Corey, I'm a little perplexed. I don't know. I know they had some open at the back with the heels on. David Corey, what were you doing? What were you doing in Jealous, boy? And I know you in Texas. You right there in East Texas. What David Corey, and he put on socks with him. David Corey, you was a little boy walking around looking like somebody's uncle. Okay. I ain't gonna say nothing. Link in there if you want to come up and explain why you had on socks and Jealous, David. That between you and Jesus. I see you backstage. You cool with being up, or you want to turn your camera off? Okay, I see you.
How did you even start talking about jelly?
Cause sassy. It was sassy. Sassy talking about jelly.
It was not.
Oh, okay. Hey, Sassy, how you doing, family? Welcome in.
Hey, Sassy.
Hey, what's going on? I'm really not going to take a lot of time, but I wanted to.
No, you good. You good. We just chopping it up.
So I know we're talking about therapists and stuff, and I got off on the jelly, so I apologize. But I just wanted to.
You good.
Okay, so I wanted to first address the lady that you brought up. She got problems.
Yeah, Miss Jones.
She don't.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to be a therapist, and she's like just putting herself out there like that. And I definitely wouldn't want to have a therapist like that in my life. So I could say a lot more about her, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I think everybody has their own opinion about what we saw.
Well, hold on, okay. Sassy. I know you're respectful. I know you ain't gonna go in too deep because this is not an attack on her. But I don't want you to hold back. I do want to know what you think as somebody who's been in therapy, continued therapy, willing to return if need be. This is the whole point of these kind of conversations, so we can actually talk about this, because it might be somebody in the bushes right now or somebody who watched this live later, and your contribution to the conversation could be like a determining factor on certain red flags that maybe people see in therapists or mental health professionals from your experience that may enlighten them to like, okay, when I do pick or select another one, I'm gonna look for these qualities or these traits. So don't hold back, sis. Y'all. Oh, by the way, before you go, says if y'all haven't already, man, share this out and let folk, because it ain't just about me. Everybody who come up here, everybody in the chat, I want as many people as possible to see this, be a part of this, know about these types of conversations. But my sister, the flow is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, so as far as me, like my honest opinion about her, my
Uh-huh.
buck, I'm gonna keep it a buck. So
Yeah.
we've all gone through something. We all may have lost a job. We all may have, like April said earlier, you know, you can't, if you get fired or terminated from a job, it's an appropriate way to deal with it. I was terminated from a job, believe it or not, a long time ago. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't see myself getting, and that's just me. I don't see myself getting online, going live, and you got to take some responsibility. I think a lot of people don't take responsibility, and that's in everything. There's always like
Right.
there's always two sides to something. There's not just one side. But people aren't honest with themselves. So they'd rather, instead of sitting back and thinking about, okay, well, what could I have done different? They're in attack
Mm-hmm.
mode, like attack. They're going to attack,
Right.
instead of like logically sitting down and thinking things through, like, well, why did I say that? Did I really need to put that out there about men?
Right.
That's something I could have kept to myself, or
Right.
discussed amongst girlfriends. Me and my girlfriends get together. We talk about everything.
Yeah.
But some things aren't for even I'm not a therapist or anything, but some things aren't
Right.
for like live videos. I don't think, that's just
Mm-hmm.
something
Mm-hmm.
you discuss with your girlfriends and you leave it at that, So those are my
I,
true thoughts.
I couldn't agree more. I can tell you this, that especially in my younger life, I contribute a vast amount of my sanity to not only my friend circle, like my homeboys that I grew up with, because uh, the first one of us passed away in 2020. But out
Right.
of the four of us, we had literally been friends at that point for 25 years, going on 26. And uh, that level of a friend circle and people who I had the ability to confide in addition to people like everybody experienced different. I don't have crazy brother-in-laws, you know what I'm saying? So even when y'all done seen it, you got the dude, the boyfriend or the husband and the brother never really get along because they be
Right.
beefing and fight. I never lived through none of that. I didn't have to deal with that. All my brother-in-laws chill, my sister-in-law chill, my family good people. Well, my wife family and my family good to her. So I found a lot of solace in that community.
Right.
But
Right.
but when it come to going to reach out to a professional family, we gotta admit and understand that whether they show you that or not. I put it like this, Sassy. Over the years, have you ever seen any of these stories, or can you recall something where somebody be out at a basketball game or something and they saying all kinds of racist stuff, or they throwing water at some teenagers that's a little bit too happy about the last shot they got scored,
Mhm.
and then somebody take their picture and next thing they all over the internet, and you come to find out they like the chief of oncology or something, or
Right.
they a therapist. They hold these amazing titles. uh what we can't do in my what I'm not gonna do, I don't get in grown folk business. What I'm not gonna do is not have that same energy just because it's a black woman versus when it's a white woman or a white man or an Indian or anybody else. You hold a title that is so overwhelmingly important. It's got to be a standard of professionalism across the board, man. in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
no,
what
I absolutely agree with you on that. And some people might look at you like, let's just keep it 100 here. Some people might look at you like, oh, you putting this black woman out there and a sister out there. But wrong is wrong, no matter what color you are. Wrong is just wrong. So that's my take on it. It shouldn't
thank
matter.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you for saying that,
yeah,
Sassy. I've heard, and to that, because I'm always open to people's opinions and perspectives, whether we disagree or disagree on it. I've said multiple times over this live, my intent is not to disparage this young lady. I don't even want it to be about her as much as I want it to be about her occupation and her belief system and attitude within that, right?
right,
So
right.
everybody ain't gonna love African Dream, and everybody ain't gonna like Jay. And I'm gonna say I don't give a damn, because not only do I love my folk in Texas and back in the States, hell, I live in Africa. Question my blackness, you can kiss my. I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried about it. But thank you for that acknowledgement, my sister.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, not a problem. If you don't mind, I wanted to just ask a question, and then I wanted to make a statement, if that's okay with you.
Girl, you got all the time you want, Sass. Go ahead. I don't even get to chop it up with you that much like this. I'm glad you came up here.
I know we don't get to chop it up, but so that is good. But
Yeah.
I wanted to just get thoughts on. So when you're looking for a therapist, me being a Black African American woman, and whomever else, whatever other races are out there,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel more inclined to have somebody that is your race because you feel like they could relate to you more than someone that is not your race? That was one of the questions that I wanted to pose to people. Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like, and I'm just gonna can I keep it a buck up here?
Keep it 100, fam.
Okay.
100.
So for me, and I'm not racist, I got bias and just like everybody else, but for me, I feel like I would relate better to, and this is nothing against anyone else, I would relate better to someone who is of my race, because they may know some of the things, I mean, it's kind of it's not really hard to explain, but I just kind of feel like they could relate more to my struggles that I go through and different things of that nature. So that was just one of the questions. And I don't know like what the chat is saying. What are your thoughts on that, Jay?
The chat hadn't really responded yet because you just answered a lot. Some people are agreeing with something you said earlier. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
Miss Jones Truth said absolutely wrong is wrong. But I'll say this: I'm kind of on the I'm 50-50 with it, and I'll be completely honest, and I'll even elaborate on to why.
Okay.
So for probably, man, I can't. Going back to childhood, I had an early introduction into therapy, right? So as I've shared before, I was one of those troubled kids that always had to go see the counselor. I had conversations with therapists. Unbeknownst to them, I was fully aware that I was being assessed at the time. I've never been a bad person. I ain't always did the best things, but I've never was a bad person or a bad kid. And there was an insistence upon placing me in special education because I wasn't developmentally up to par, right?
Okay.
Behavioral problems, skipping school, missing this, missing that, uh, fighting, just stuff like that.
Right.
And the goal for almost my whole 7th and 8th grade year was uh to put me in special education. So I've been dealing with different therapists and counselors and stuff for a long time. And one thing that happened in my adult life that I found real intriguing that made me open to the quality of the service provided versus the ethnicity, because I understand exactly what you're saying, and I've been there too, and I still feel that sentiment to a degree. But I've run across mental health professionals who look just like a Sassy, a very beautiful black woman, smart, just look, you know how some people, they just look smart, like they ain't even open their mouth yet, but they just look smart, right?
Right.
What I found was, because as I alluded to earlier, I said that I like to ask questions of the people who are giving me life advice. I think I'm warranted that, right? So
Right.
what I found with, and this ain't an end all be all, because I'm still giving my folk a chance. I'm giving my people a chance. But you know, there is some po folk in the world. I'm country as hell. I'm from East Texas. When you dealing with a therapist, it may as well be a woman or a man of any other race from an upper middle class family in Wisconsin, and you trying to relate to my life. And that's how it was with some of the experiences I've had with some black professionals, because not always, but let's talk about this part too. I've encountered an overcompensation of not only the level of you super professional, but and you look just like me, but we ain't got nothing to talk about because you can't relate to me at all. I grew up between the piney woods of East Texas and then the hood, and then different parts of South Dallas as a kid, as a child growing up. And all you've ever known is a completely middle class life. You ain't never been hungry. You ain't never longed for shit, for nothing. You ain't never helped your mama pay bills at 15, 16 years old. You don't know what it's like to help keep the lights on. You don't know what it's like to have to find the neighborhood mechanic to help fix this ragged ass car you done finally got. Like all kinds of stuff that our childhood catches up to us. And whenever you converse or you seeking help, this is just my opinion, from somebody who can't relate to you on the very situations that cause some of the issues you have in adulthood that stem from your childhood, you can only help me so much, because you revert back to a very clinical doctrine, a very clinical approach. I need you to try to understand me. So and I hope that helped answer it a little bit, but I'll say this. I understand the comfortability based on the assumption of hoping that we got some relatability, but I found I done had no relatability with black folk, with white folk. I had an Asian dude one time. I've experienced a lot of different therapists, if that helps.
Oh yeah, that helped. And I was reading some of the comments while you were talking, and like I saw Ghetto said that maybe being open to going to see a different race, maybe I could get a different perspective on different things depending on what the topic is. And I get that.
Okay,
I'm not.
I see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Oh,
be.
go ahead.
No, sorry, but I wouldn't be closed off to seeing a different race, but I feel like maybe someone of my culture could like you were saying, Jay, could understand my struggle. And it's not even all about struggle, because according to some people, I never struggle, but we won't go there. But it's not about struggle, it's just about life, the shoes that I walk in. So, but I'm open. So I just wanted to pose that question. And then if you don't mind, I wanted to just say something about the therapy that I did receive at one point in my life. That's okay with you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I asked it before you ask that next question. I just want to elaborate a little bit on something you said and
Okay.
what Ghetto said. So for me, it's a lot of different factors, and this is kind of what Tamikia Wells said. It depends on my issues, and this is why this is important to me, because I don't give a damn what gender or race you are. and this the old man in me talking. I'm probably not as apt to, and this is no disrespect because everybody got to get started somewhere. You can't help when you were born.
Right.
But if you like 22, 23, you fresh out of college, and I come to you for marriage counseling, and your ass ain't even married, I'm not finna. Fam. No. You ain't finna holler at your boy about that because you have no clue. And that's part of one of the contributing factors that shortened my career in sociology and social work and mental health. I was surrounded by a lot of people who may be either first year out or 2 years out of university, and you completely comfortable with taking people children away from them, and you ain't even got no kids. You ain't even you up here admitting you don't even want no kids for another 4, 5, 6 years, if ever. You talking about dating and shit, and these folks are struggling. And you gotta understand, up in the Pacific Northwest, baby, everybody don't look like me. That ain't what I cared about. I ain't care if they were white. I ain't care if they was Pacific Islander. I ain't care if they were black in that regard. I cared about, man, that should be like an absolute last resort, snatching these folk children away from them. And you all willy-nilly about this shit like it's all good. You know people do struggle and fall on hard times, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So I just use that as a comparison to some of the same metrics that I use to select the people who I choose to receive mental health advice from. But what was your second question, sis? Go ahead.
Well, just one thing, just what you just said. It's kind of like when you get a therapist, it's kind of like someone said it earlier in the chat, you got to interview that therapist. You got to make sure that they're the right fit for you, because they might not be. Just like you said, someone who has never had a kid can't relate to someone who has a kid, when they're in their whoever it was, taking those kids out of homes. They don't know what that feeling is. That's like a crushing. If my kid is thinking, like, if my kid was ever taken from me, that would just be like death, like just that feeling of death, and stuff. It's like you do got it. So I agree with, I forgot who said it earlier. You gotta like interview, like you're interviewing that therapist for a job and stuff, so you can make sure they're a good fit, so, but quickly, Oh, I'm sorry. Were you going to say something?
No. Go ahead, sis. Calm down, Sassy. I got the time you got, man. I'm probably going to rock on a couple more minutes. Go ahead.
You're not going to rock on a couple more minutes. You'll probably rock on a couple more hours.
Whatever. Hey, ain't nobody ask you all that, Sassy. Go ahead.
But what I was going to say about therapy, I received therapy in the past. So at my job, I don't know if anyone can relate to this. We have I think it's called the EAP program. So if you want to seek therapy, you can go through this program. I think it's called Employee Assistance Program. You can go through this program. So you talk to like a representative. They take your information down, what's going on, and make sure you're not suicidal. And then they give you a couple of therapists to check out. So my experience, I just wanted to share my experience. So I get this dude and everything, call him up. And this was during the time where my mom passed away in 2019. So get a guy, he's a black guy and everything. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm feeling good about it during a traumatic time in my life. Yeah. I go see him. He talking more about himself and his problems and things like that over listening to me, Right. So that's why I say that it's important to definitely interview. Don't just settle for like the first person that you get. If anyone is out there thinking about therapy, and this is just me learning from what I went through. And then he decided, I don't know why, and I was serious when I said this to you, Nikki, if Nikki's still in here, he decided he didn't want to see me anymore, like after maybe 5 visits. and he sent me
Wow.
he sent me an
Wow.
email and said that he was ending my session. No explanation, no nothing. Like who does that, right? But
That's
yeah, but it
yeah.
all worked out because one of my friends that's a social worker, he referred me to a group called, I think it's called Grief Share. And
Mhm.
I ended up going there, and it was at this church in my area. And it was just like, I kid you guys not. And I know you said at the beginning, like, death is something that's always going to be with you. You heal, but the hurt is still there, right? You heal, but the hurt is always going to still be there because you miss the presence of this person. But this group, Grief Share, I'm giving them a shout out.
Yeah.
Man, when I tell you they helped me tremendously, it was just like a wonderful thing. It was therapists at this church. It was based on biblical principles and different things. So in the end, I won. I guess I can say I won because I went through this 12-week program, and you could go back for another course if you want to, and it really did. It really helped. It did.
That's what's up, man. And ultimately, that's what it's about. It's
Right.
about getting the help that helps you at the end
Right.
of the day,
Yep.
regardless of the source. A lot of the things that are deemed what helps you is also business related. Let's be honest, because only certain people can be appointed the figures who can legally, or when it comes to insurance purposes and all of that, only certain people can be the ones to properly help and or assess you and your situation. But look at what you just said. You had a dude, I don't know, dude might have wanted to take you out for a cup of coffee or something and didn't know how to say it. So here he is telling you about himself, and I'm not saying that. It's just an
Yeah.
assumption based off the conversation.
Right.
But
Right.
before I go on, I want to address two things. One is what you said about death. Uh, Today I'm pretty good, honestly. Oddly enough, my nephew called me. My phone on the fritz because I told y'all my phone messed up. I'm working on getting that squared away. But um, today is his birthday, and it's rough, man. I still hell, I'm a grown man because I know some other grown man out there do it. Uh, Hell, I might wait on purpose for April to go to sleep so I can shed some tears. You know what I'm saying? I wait till the wife sleep. You ain't got to be no part of this. This is my me time. I'm just gonna go over here in this other room in this corner and put on some zero, or you know what I'm saying, bang some screw or something, and just sit back and put the head earbuds in and mind my own business, and whatever happened after that. If I got to take my soul to the laundromat, damn it, I'm gonna take my soul to the laundromat.
Right.
And it never goes away. It come in waves, as a matter of fact. Hell, it's 4-5 years later, and Paul said it depends on what day I wake up. It feel like that shit was last week or day
Right.
before yesterday.
Yeah.
So I don't think it goes away. But to address the other part, unique prepping. This for those who listening and can't see it. My man, unique prepping said, "Here's my opinion. I totally understand that race may be a determination, but honestly, race shouldn't be a factor because there's only one race, the human race. We need to understand each other." I don't disagree with that. In fact, I agree with that 100%.
Right.
But at the same time, there's also an element of relatability. Um, and what do I mean by that? Excuse me. Now they would never do it, but let's say they let me in the military or something. Let's say I was a veteran or something like that, right?
Hmm.
Certain conversations only another veteran is gonna understand.
Right.
If you grew up banging and you were ex banger and you done changed your life around and now you working out at the plant, only you can have conversations with somebody who done stepped away from whatever set they used to be in and changed their life around. Now, that gang banger and that veteran, yes, they could talk to anybody and potentially receive help from anybody. But that former gangbanger and that former veteran in a position to offer help is going to have a way deeper and more relatable conversation with somebody who going through those or have lived through those same experiences. And that happens for the Black experience as well. Because I done had some therapists who was not my race, who just couldn't understand where I was coming from. And I've had some who, with the best that they could, totally did. Even up front admitted, I don't know what your experience is like. I wish I could understand, but here's all the things and tools I can give you to help you. I love those people, but like Nikki said earlier in the conversation, it's a revolving door. You might get used to a therapist, and next thing you know, they done got sent across town, or they in another city, or because they are a government employee, they go away, and all you wish is you could talk to them, but hell, they 3 hours away from you now. So
you got to start over.
And you got to start over. It's more relatability than anything. What's up, Sammy Joe? I ain't see you tiptoe off in here. What's up, growing what I eat? Who else done came in here? Sassy, you up here now. You supposed to be helping folk. Look at the chat.
I'm sorry. I'm not on my job, huh? What's up, everybody? Hey, loving me, Tracy Anderson.
Yeah, I done spoke. Hey, Miss Tracy, how you doing? Who said something? Oh, this is Wellness with Frugal Mama.
Joe wants you to drop the link.
Oh, okay, cool. And while I'm dropping this link, Sassy, what was you had another question for me. I digressed a little bit.
Well, no, not a question. I just wanted to kind of share my experience with therapy. I believe in therapy.
Me too.
Yeah, I do believe in therapy. It's, you can talk to people, but are you really going to get the honest answer that you're looking for or the help that you need? A lot of people aren't going to do that. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They want to just side with you and stuff. So I think that somebody that has absolutely nothing to do with your life, just hearing, and I'm not saying you got to listen to them, but just hearing their take on what your story is, I think that sometimes that's like a rewarding thing for you. It could be rewarding because you could not have heard that from your friends. That's how I look at it.
No, that's a great point of view. That's a great perspective. And I want to say before I bring my next guest up, I just want to say, man, I wish I know Miss Cheryl Faulkner off in here. I wish Miss Shirley OG Gardner was in here. Miss Shirley, if you in somewhere in them bushes, baby, go on and get together. All you gotta do is wave at me. You ain't gotta be up on the camera. But I would love to have that kind of wisdom in this conversation in addition to everybody else. And I just want to say it doesn't always have to be a both and. I think it's a both and versus either or. No one has said that therapy is horrible. You shouldn't go. You shouldn't do this. We're just marking a question, like Sassy said. Her therapist, declined continuation for whatever reasons. Well, you should have those rights afforded you as well. I think a lot of people get confined to circumstances and situations based on affordability, be it insurance or maybe state or government assistance or compensation to some level of the amount of coverage afforded you. But like these people are people just like us, and you got a right to check them out. But I 100% believe in therapy. I've went for years, and I'm not saying I won't ever go back because life keep happening. With that being said, I'm gonna bring up my brother. Young man, what good, bro?
What's going on, big bro? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great and hoping to get better.
I'm with you on that, bro. I'm with you on that.
Hey, Phil.
Hey, Sassy. Yes. How you doing, sis?
Doing good, thank you.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Jay, for bringing me up. And shout out to April, aka Tech Department. Thank y'all so much for all y'all do. And
no doubt.
Man, this is a serious conversation that has to be had, because this whole conversation is for educational purposes, i.e.,
Yes, sir.
nobody's telling you to do or not to do. That is the question, as Shakespeare would say.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
You got to answer that question for yourself. But
Yes, sir.
there was a time in which people chose not to because they felt like it was the wrong thing to do. Then there was a time where everybody did it because they felt like it was the end thing to do. But whatever decision you make has to be a decision for you personally. There is nothing wrong with needing help, regardless of the topic. So having
Right.
someone to help you with your mental health is not a sign of weakness if you choose to do so. It's actually a sign of strength.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry to just jump in here, but
No, go ahead, Sassy.
he hit the nail on the head, because it was a time where you went to therapy. Girl, what's wrong with you? Then therapy
Yes.
became a fad. Like you said, it became a
Yep.
fad. Oh, I'm going to therapy. You know, it's crazy. But in the end, you have to ultimately do what is right for you, not based on the fad or, you know, anything else, anyone else's decision for you. You got to make that decision for yourself. That's all I want to say.
Exactly. And there's some decisions that you make in life that are lifelong decisions.
Right.
You know, there's certain things you can't go back and undo. But this is a horrible example, but it's the first thing that comes to my mind. If a woman decides to get her ears pierced, you can't unpierce your ears. Now, you cannot wear earrings and eventually the hole will kind of close, but it's never like it was originally because you made that decision. But when it comes to mental health, there's no law that says that if you have a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or whoever you choose to see of varying levels, that it has to be a lifelong decision. It may be seasonal. Right now, there is so much on me that I can't take it and I need help.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But once I get through that season, I'm okay. And I realize that I can handle it now. So then you move on accordingly.
Absolutely, bro. And to add to that, I think we living through a period of one of the few things societally that I could qualify or classify as a true progression. Now, we've seen many things over recent years in society where the pendulum swings so hard one way that it ends up backfiring, so to speak, and then it swings all the way the other way. And I don't think this is the case with this, and I'll explain why. Because we've lived through the era and period where mental health or anybody with mental health issues, it was deemed many people were classified as social pariahs. They may have been excluded from certain parts of society. That's no longer the case. It's welcomed. And we've went through the phase also where the whole concept of, like Sassy just said, and like I was saying earlier, going to a therapist was it was almost a bourgeois event. It was a class status issue, something to almost boast about, potentially even more so than the help acquired. Like we had somebody here earlier, Crystal Sterling, I think it was, said you know, she's received help, but you got to put in the work. But I think some people may attend just for the sake of saying they attended, especially back in those days. And now so many legitimate mental health issues are being acknowledged that I think we finally found in balance. And I think this is the last phase of it, because you do have so many degreed persons in the world, and especially in the country of the U.S., who may meet the qualifications. It's completely saturated. And I think maybe unqualified people are starting to be weeded out. And I think more education to people saying that they choose to be more specific with the person or the clinician that they choose to take advice and help towards their life from. So I think this is something that's completely on a progressive level with regards to improvement. I mean progressive, small p, not big P. We're not talking about political ideology. We're talking about the progression of a cycle of mental health and addressing clinicians. So what y'all think about that?
It's dope.
Ladies first.
Yeah. I mean,
To quote the young people, uh, uh,
Hey, you cutting out, boy. You going through a bad spot. Sassy, go ahead.
I agree with everything you just said. Like I really agree with everything you just said. But before I lose this thought, I wanted to just say that, this conversation that we're having, one thing that's left out of it is that sometimes these therapists are quick to put you on medication, just like regular doctors are quick to put you on medication. They don't say,
Mhm.
oh, exercise and maybe your blood pressure will go down. It's like they're quick to hand you these things. So I just wanted to tell people to, do your research and before you just and I'm not saying anything is wrong with medication. Don't get me wrong. And I know that that's
Of
not what this
course, of course.
conversation is about, but it's just something that just came to mind. And I just wanted to put that out there. So,
No, I agree. I agree. And before
yeah,
my man Joe go, if you back, Joe, you back?
yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say very briefly, real quick. Yeah, I'm totally not against medication. There's a real thing of chemical imbalances, brain imbalances.
right.
Under the right circumstances, I think people may require some forms of medication. But the first thing, in my opinion, should be a holistic approach to it. It's amazing what a walk in the sunshine can do, getting that heart rate up just a little bit. And this ain't medical advice. I'm just giving you my life experience.
Yeah.
Um, like Jogo lift weights, exhausting those muscles and getting some of those could possibly do a whole lot more good than people give it credit for. But that's something else that I think is starting to come to a head is uh, the reliance on unnecessary potentially medications. Again, this ain't medical advice in any way, shape, or form. This is for educational purposes. But try a walk first. You know what I'm saying? Just maybe do some sit-ups. Just drop down and do 4-5 sets of 2 with some push-ups. If you can't do the
Right.
2 push-ups, just drop down, do 2 push-ups and rest and do 2 more and go from there. But uh young brother, what say you, sir?
So to what you said earlier, I want to borrow a phrase from you and say for shizzle. But now that we've said that,
Shizzo.
I really
Yeah.
think that what is so good about this conversation is A, how objective it is, and B, the feel that I get from this conversation. Because I've been in the bushes since you started. Off
Thank
and
you,
on
brother.
because I'm
Thank
running some errands. Hey, no, you know I
you. Yeah.
got you, big bro. Um, but you take someone that has the power, like the young lady that you showed earlier, that's abusing the power that they have. But
Mm-hmm.
we as individuals have a certain power that we can try first before we have to rely on others and their power to help us through it, i.e., the physical exercise. Because I'm gonna tell you something. When I get under that bench, when I get under that bar on the bench, I think
Yeah.
about everybody that I hate. And I don't even like to use the word hate. Because listen, I'm getting y'all off me. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and it's something about that is an endorphin release. It does some things that help you mentally in a way that you don't know until you try. Now I ain't telling everybody to lift weights because I ain't anywhere I want to be lifting weights, and weightlifting ain't everybody's thing. But what you
Right.
did say, Jay, that was so important, we can walk. You know what I mean? Now
Mhm.
you may start with a walk to the refrigerator to get a carton of ice cream. That's fine. But start walking. Just try it. You know what I mean? And before you know
Yeah.
it, you walk across the house, and then who knows? You might end up rucking. You know what I mean?
There
I
you
just figured
go.
out what that was. But hey, it's a
I
thing.
remember. I remember.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
So I'm just saying from my perspective, for educational purposes only, try to do what you can before you immediately rely on others.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I see you back there. You can turn your camera off now. I see. Look at that smile. Don't be cheesing at me. I see you. That's
But
it.
Joe, you're right. Everybody has their own journey, and they have to do what's right for them. Which I'm a slide this in there if you don't mind, Jay.
No, go ahead, sis. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so Miss T and I are doing 1 week without meat starting tomorrow. And anyone who wants to jump on board, please feel free to. We're encouraging anyone who wants to do it. And I did meat. I did know meat. I was a vegetarian for like a year and a half, so I know what it's like. But we're just trying to do a little challenge. That's all. So I just want to throw that out there.
No, that's fine. And before we get out of here, I'm gonna give everybody a chance to uh talk about their channels because somebody finna go live here in a little bit, and we all gonna go rate the heck out of them. But before
Yep.
we do that, please, if y'all have shared this live out, I appreciate it. If you don't mind, share it out again. If you in the chat, we would appreciate if you share it out. Because this is not just about African dreaming. These conversations are for the sake of community. I want to welcome in Game Nerd Mom, and I also want to say, y'all check out Sassy over the course of this
Yeah.
week with this no meat eating because I was a vegan for uh over just shy of a year. I was in my 11th month, and for me personally, it anyway. We'll talk about that later. But no, that's dope.
Hey
That's
Jay,
dope. Go ahead, bro.
I don't mean to interrupt. I gotta take a
No, go
call
ahead.
real quick and get something straight before the stream starts. But thank you so
Okay.
much for allowing me to come up, and thank you for all that you do. And shout out to April. Y'all are a dynamic truck driving, YouTube content, power creating powerhouse couple.
Hey,
That
well,
part.
thank you, brother. And when I see you live, man, we gonna wind down and head on over your way, bro. Real talk.
Sounds good.
So
Thank you
go
so
ahead
much,
and
big
get it.
bro.
No doubt, no doubt.
All right.
Thank you, thank you. Game Nerd Mom, what you got going on today, sis? I got two ladies up here.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Hey, what's up, Miss Sassy? How you doing?
good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
I got in from outside. I was dirty. I had to go take a break and get under.
Out there in that garden.
Yes, it's a mess out there. I had to clean it up. But
It's all good. It's your mess.
definitely want to agree with y'all on finding a therapist that I can relate to. Like definitely when I do, search around for therapists, I definitely trying to find somebody of the same complexion as our
Mhm.
people because
Yeah.
I don't, but I don't, like you said, I don't, disregard somebody that could possibly, be helpful. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I need somebody that can relate to these experiences that I be having. Like, what if I have a situation where somebody calling me some unsavory words? Some
Mhm.
people ain't gonna understand what that's like. So,
Right.
Right.
so
Relatability is real. Yeah.
definitely have to agree with y'all on that. But I did want to touch on the affordability of therapy simply because it's
Please do. Go ahead.
It's kind of in my realm. Not necessarily I can't afford a therapist, but my insurance doesn't cover the kind of therapist that is best for my life. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
a child with autism, so like finding a babysitter for him is very difficult.
Right.
Uh, Simply because he just has different challenges and it takes a while to get used to him, so and to be able to deal with the stuff that he does and things like that. So it's really challenging, and just to find a therapist, to find a sitter just to go to therapy for an hour is just like it seems it will cause me more stress than it would be to go to the therapist. I would go to the therapist stressed every time because I would be worried about my son being with this new babysitter, you know, for only an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of insurances do not cover like online therapy. And like I just said, I was just out in the garden and I spend a lot of time doing my little homesteading thing. That takes up a lot of time. If you have a garden, you know
Yeah.
that garden
Yeah.
can take some time, especially them daylight hours. That's the whole
Well,
thing about that is because you really a lot of times if you do gardening or homesteading and you got like a lot of stuff to deal with, it takes up a lot of your daytime hours, especially in the summertime. And with school being out, my youngest son, he's at home with me. So like, an online therapist would be the best thing for me, but my insurance doesn't cover it. So like I'm just chilling right now, I guess,
no.
until I guess
Yeah.
it's through summer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I'll figure it out.
No,
But go ahead.
go ahead. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
Oh, I was
Finish your
finished.
point.
I was done. Go ahead. You good?
I was just gonna say, I feel, man, I'm not a mom, of course, and we ain't got no children, as y'all know, but I do know firsthand some of the complexities from family of I'm empathetic and sympathetic to a parent dealing with a child with autism, and I might catch some flack for this, but for all the money spent on multiple resources, I think it's somewhere in there to help make these things easier and more possible than what a lot of the citizenry has to deal with. Because, like you said, by the time you plan all of that out, it's a whole nother stress. So your initial what you gonna talk about in session has been completely swamped out by how the hell you got the session in the first place. And
Exactly.
these are things just it's the empathy of it all, it's the consideration of it all, it's the uh I, it's so much. It's so much. I think we're gonna talk about this more than just this conversation. This might be just the first part of an ongoing series.
Yeah.
Um, because this is an endless conversation with so many different points of view that everybody can share in and discuss. But I want to say to you, sister, thank you for just for being coming up for coming up and being willing to share how you feel. But I want to get y'all perspective on this. So well,
Can I say one thing though about what she said, just
go
quickly?
ahead.
So
No, go ahead, Sam.
my thing about what she said is, and this is a whole topic, Jay, because how does these insurance companies, how does the one size fits all approach work for everyone? Decisions are being made for us and our children.
Right.
When everyone doesn't fit that shoe size, there's other shoe
Yeah.
sizes, and I think we the people, this is a whole different subject, like you said, so I don't want to elaborate, but just ponder on that, what I said. One size doesn't fit everyone.
No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. And I think that's I think that's a question that we have to keep discussing and Some people will probably look at it from a legislative point of view. Um, but like you said, this, you know what I'm saying, everybody don't want a snapback. Some people need a fitted, depending on
Right.
their head size. Some people need a fitted, depending on their life. So
Exactly.
I mean, it's quite the conversation. Um, but you raise an amazing point. I wish I had an answer for you.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know how we fix it, but we can sure talk about it and address it and put our heads together and come up with something from this point going forward. But Wellness with Frugal Mama got something even deeper down up under that. But I want to address this. This is a real good question. I want to know what both of y'all ladies think about this. Um, is therapy a resilience or a tool? Ooh,
A reliance.
ooh. I mean, yeah, a reliance or a tool. I said resilience. A reliance or a tool.
Yeah.
What say y'all, ladies? It's two ladies, so whichever one of y'all want to go first, go first.
So for me, I look at
Mhm.
therapy as a tool. Um, I don't look at it as a reliance because I don't have to rely on it. I'm going there to figure some things out about myself. So my hope is that I go in and it's a tool for me to do better, to learn something that I hadn't thought of. You know, that's the way I see therapy.
Okay.
For me personally, I well, actually not. What kind of personally? I think it can be seen as both, to be honest. I think depending on what you're going through in your life, that you can definitely have to rely on therapy. I know I went to therapy as a child. I had some traumatic experiences in my childhood, and I went to therapy for those, and I feel like I relied on that a whole lot. Like
Okay.
I had my family or whatever, but it was definitely a reliance then. It was also a tool, but I definitely relied on it as a child. It definitely made me feel seen, made me relate to, the situation I was going through. And I feel like it can be both. I think where it becomes problematic as far as reliance is when you're is when you're it, just like anything else. You can abuse anything. You can abuse water, you can abuse, you can abuse food, you can abuse all kinds of things. So, like, definitely, I think it can be, abused in that way as far as relying on therapy too much. Like, every little thing, you shouldn't have to go to your therapist for every little thing. Your therapist should be helping you uh, have tools to, deal with things on your own. But at the same time, I think sometimes when you're going through something in your life, you can rely on therapy to help you through that.
Right. That
Yeah.
makes so much sense the way you laid it out. You know, it depends on your experiences in life. So it could be one or it could be the other or it could be both for you.
Yeah. I mean, first off, wellness for frugal mama, that's a hell of a question to pose. And I agree with both of you ladies. And I'll say this. So and I believe I'm in the mind of Game Nerd Mom too. I think it can definitely be both, but it could also be both, if you know what I mean. I mean, it could be a tool for some people and a reliance for others because you know what I'm saying, somebody coughed too close to them or somebody fought too close. I got to go to my therapy. They calling, you know what I'm saying, you getting charged billable hours because, you know what I'm saying, the cat then been gone too long and they back, but you wonder if they was out making, you know what I'm saying, making cat love. I done seen people just need therapy for some, what I see is like, damn, for real? That you stressed? But you know, everybody different. I said all that to say in 2019, about a week before Thanksgiving, I lost my mama. February, mid-February, one of my aunties passed from breast cancer. My mama's sister, one of my mama's sisters. That following month, my mama best friend, childhood best friend, since 14 and 15 years old, passed away, and was so grief-stricken by losing my mama, her health never improved. She never got over it. She could not get over it. She let go. She gave up after. And I would talk to her, you can't be like that, don't say that, don't do that. I mean, literally verbalizing, I don't want to be here no more. And gave up. 4 months later, my little cousin, 27, gone. And then just as I thought, God, you can't put no more on me than I can bear. My brother, my childhood best friend, since we was 14 and 15, left this realm of existence. Your boy wasn't doing good, fam. Your boy wasn't doing good at all. Why did I go down through all of that? To give a true real life example that I could understand how it could be a resilience and a tool. Because for somebody like me with the life I've lived, I take those tools and I put them in my tool belt. I utilize them when necessary. But for somebody else, they may still need therapy to this day from events that happened in 2019 or 2020 on a regular and more consistent basis than myself. So 2 things can be true. It's not always an either or. Everything ain't always black and white and cut and dry. It's an individual basis, if that makes sense to y'all.
It absolutely does, because at first I didn't see, to be honest with you, I didn't see like Reliance, huh? And then Game Nerd Mom, when you said your piece, sometimes you got to listen. Sometimes you got to listen and you got to hear what someone else says. And then you have that aha moment. So we are actually relying on a tool being the therapist, and whatever whatever things that the therapist gives us to fix whatever, so it I think it's both. It's more both, because we're
Yeah.
relying on a tool.
Yeah. Hey, ladies, I don't want to cut this short. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm loving chopping it up with y'all. I do want to slide on over to my man, Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek. He is live right now. And again, we not gonna look, this ain't gonna be the last conversation like this we have. We're gonna make this a series. I don't know how long it's gonna go and how much we'll cover, but we definitely gonna keep these types of conversations active in the community, because I think they're important. I love the contribution of both of you ladies and everybody else who came up on the panel, everybody who been in the chat. I saw Miss Cheryl saying that she cares for an autistic child. Shout out to you for your patience, and because that is not easy. And even when you're not dealing with the direct contact of an autistic child or autistic person, it's still a lot. So kudos to you, Miss Cheryl, and everybody else out there doing the best they can do with everything they got confronted with. I want to give both of you ladies an opportunity to talk about yourselves and your channel. And then I would love for everybody who's still here, everybody who's available, we're going to go over the Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek. We're going to raid him out. We're going to go get in that conversation. And and by the way, if y'all like conversations like this, we got to keep them a little bit more measured for YouTube. But check out our podcast. Check out some things and some stuff. It's right there in the chat. Some things and some stuff podcast. We've already had guests. We're going to start bringing more guests over so that we can have conversations like this, but we can get a little bit more raw with it, because we don't have to meet certain guidelines and do this. And it's it's a little freer over there. So we can talk like how we want to talk to the full extent. It's still respectful, but it's for grown folks. I'm gonna put that out there up front. But Sassy, we'll start with you. And then we'll go to Game Nerd Mom. Please talk about your channel, all the stuff you building and getting up on ladders, talking about, and you over there wiring, and you just Tim the tool guy. But anyway, go ahead, Sassy.
So my channel is The Experience with Sassy. I mean, I haven't rewired anything, but think that through and try not to get electrocuted. But I
Don't
like
do
it.
it.
I like crafting. I like gaming. I like outdoor stuff. I just recently started gardening, and I'm enjoying that tremendously. So I'm like just all over the place. I want to learn new things. I got a keyboard over here in the corner that I'm looking at. I would love to learn to do that. So the sky's the limit. But I wanted to say thank you for having me up. You and April, you guys, I gotta say this, you guys are some of the first people I met when I got on YouTube. And I just gotta thank you guys so much for your support. Love you guys. You guys my fam. Even if you don't want me, y'all my fam.
All love, family.
Okay.
You stuck with us now. You stuck with us now.
I'm good. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay. And Game Nerd Mom, what you got going on over there, family?
You always put me on the spot with this one. I don't never know how to talk about myself.
Every time.
Oh, I did want to say, Sassy, if you're going to fire some stuff, just make sure you turn the power off first so you don't get electrocuted. Turn the power off.
That
part. Please do.
No,
please
actually, do. Don't ask me how I know because it's embarrassing. We're not going to talk about it.
Thank you.
But what I got going on my channel is just a little gardening, homesteading thing. I kind of recently I've been getting into doing my lawn care type thing because I want my front yard to look cute, and I've been trying to get that. I do my little homesteading. I'm on my journey to find my forever homestead. It's not here yet. Ain't made it, so I'm just documenting my journey.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
Exactly. Doing garden tours. I might be building a little bit of some here and there. Nothing too serious because I'm not no 10 to 2-man tailor, nothing like that. I've been trying not to injure myself, so yeah.
It's all good, sis.
Yeah, that's all I got going on over there. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Sassy, you hear that? Turn the power off, the main power switch. Don't be getting up there trying to take out conduits and redo fixtures and falling off ladders and stuff. So
right, like the whole bird thing that I never put up.
Right. Just easy peasy. Just one day at a time, fam. One day at a time. But with that being said, I'm gonna ask both of you ladies to just hang on for just a second after I close out this live. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek. We finna head over there. If Tech Department listening, okay, so the link for our podcast is in the chat. Y'all go over there and listen to an episode. Find a short episode and just listen to it all the way through. Become a listener. That'll help us. We need to get to this 100, y'all. The clock is ticking on us. We're trying hard to get to that 100. Not only for the sake of our monetization, but it opens up other features and accesses that we're trying to get a hold of as well. So with that being said, family, look here. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you, The Experience with Sassy. Thank you, Game Nerd Mom. It's all love. We're going to do this again. Probably won't see us tomorrow, but y'all make sure y'all tune in for Friday Faves this week. Sweet Reed, welcome in, sis. We getting ready to close it down. We winding down. We actually getting ready to end the live right now. If you got time, you can go back and catch the replay from the beginning. We would appreciate it. With that being said, y'all already know how we do, how we move. We finna head over to Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek, support our brother over there. And until the next time y'all see me and the next time I see y'all already know what it is. I'm gonna be over here being country in another country. Peace. We'll holler.